the rush of migrants even before the Biden administration's termination Thursday of Title 42.
The lifting of the Title 42 public health order does not mean our border is open.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas urging migrants to follow the legal process of entry.
Hello. Wiggins is out today. We hope he will be back tomorrow. So I am solo on the pre-show.
You're not by yourself. We're here.
Wow.
We're here with you. You got this, Hannah.
Wiggins in spirit. Okay, today's YouTube live chat poll is asking, will Joe Biden be the Democrat nominee? Yes or no? I think that's a pretty interesting question. Wow, looking at the show sheet here, we have a lot in store for you guys. At 12:25, Jay Ashcroft is going to join the show. He is the Missouri Secretary of State, so that is great. He will be with us at 12:25. At 12:45, we're going to do my version of Wiggins America, Hannah's Republic, or something.
The state of Michigan.
Of,
the city
yes,
of Michigan.
something of that sort. So I will be filling in for Wiggins America at 12:45. At 1:05, we are going to have a friend, Bret Mega. He is the co-host of the Wake Up on Y98, our sister station. So he's going to come in and have a fun conversation with us. So it's his first time, I think so, in 97.1 Studios. So really excited for that. At 1:05, Bret Mega. At 1:25, Chad Wolf is going to join the show. He is the Executive Director and Chief Strategy Officer at the America First Policy Institute. That is a big title, but well-deserved. He also is the chair of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration and the former acting secretary of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Big record for this guy. Chad Wolf will be with us at 1:25, I believe, to talk about the removal of Title 42. I can't wait to hear that segment. At 1:42, following, we have Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw from Retirement Advisory Group coming in studio to talk about all things retirement. So in the 1 o'clock hour, we have a guest in every segment, so you won't want to miss that. And then in the 2 o'clock hour, I will be giving you guys the poll results to the question, is Joe Biden going to be the Democrat nominee in 2024? Yes. So let me know. I'll be reading your comments. Packed show. Excited for it.
All right. Thanks, Hannah.
Cloudy skies. We drop back into the 70s this evening. 58 for the overnight low. Thursday, partly sunny skies. But we get back into an unsettled weather pattern on Thursday with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. 85 degrees. No all-day rain. And that's the pattern for Friday and right through the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
No matter where you live, what you make, or who you voted for, there are some things that will impact all of us soon. Whether you're concerned about the alarming increase in man-made disasters, financial institutions collapsing, or worsening food shortages, Americans are preparing in numbers not seen since World War II. What's changed is how we prepare. And the folks at My Patriot Supply have made it easier than ever for you to have peace of mind, knowing you're ready for what's next. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and stock up on over a dozen emergency food kits. These include tasty breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, fruits, veggies, meats, and snacks, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one kit per person. As we all know, calories equals energy equals survival. My Patriot Supply food kits are in stock and shipped discreetly. We've seen too many Americans let down by institutions we used to trust. It's time to rely on ourselves. MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
So cajonesinc.com, a website that you can go look and see what kind of new build home inventory is available for your purchase. C.A. Jones homes are gorgeous homes. I've been in multiple different kinds of homes, multiple stories. I've been in ones with walkout basements. I've been in homes that are ranches, and they're all stunning and they're all incredibly unique. One of the amazing things about how C.A. Jones builds their homes is they focus very much so on energy efficiency, which is going to be fantastic down the line when you're living in this home, and it's built to keep those energy costs lower. They also have the opportunity to go onto their website where you can see their buildable plans right there. And you can also customize how you want your house to look on the exterior. You can pick the plan. You can pick a neighborhood if you're looking for a neighborhood to build in. But then you can also pick the finish, the color of the stone, the color of the shutters, the color of the shingles and the roof, and really get a visual of your next home built by C.A. Jones. Find them online at cajonesinc.com.
Oh, Hank, what a wonderful spider web you have built for us. I love this fabulous space we have right here in the corner of the kitchen.
Thanks, Charlotte. I think I'll build us a vacation web in the coat closet. Oh, no. It's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the move.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. We'd love to help you out. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Thank you all for coming today. Since taking the gavel in January, the Committee on Oversight and Accountability has accelerated its investigation of the Biden family's domestic and international business practices that we began last Congress. I want to be clear. This committee is investigating President Biden and his family's shady business deals that capitalize.
So there you have, that's Representative Comer this morning. He is the House Oversight Committee chairman, and he wants to make it clear that the big news of his reveal today at this press conference is that they are, in fact, investigating the president of the United States. And it's not a matter of looking into people who are related to the president of the United States. If you listen to Mark Cox this morning on our station here, they were able to carry a lot of this live. So you probably got a chance to dip in and listen to that. But for people who are getting off of lunch right now, this is a really big deal regarding all of the things that we have heard about President Biden, Hunter Biden, the Hunter laptop. This story is a long time coming and a long time mounting. Brad, I know you were listening to a lot of this stuff as you were pulling sound and stuff for the show, but we've covered a lot of people who are raising eyebrows around the Biden family for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
When you took in what Representative Comer said, and Byron Donalds and Jim Jordan and the other people who spoke, what was your immediate reaction?
I think there are some really, really good points being made here. You know, to me, I don't know what the Biden administration is selling for these payments to come in. And that's what I really want to know. There's a lot of money going to different family members of Joe Biden. It kind of looks like shell companies and stuff like that. And
they set up LLCs that pay LLCs that pay the Biden family.
Right.
So if it were not sketch money, just pay it to the Bidens.
Right.
Just send it to them.
It's just, you don't have anything for sure that you're like, aha, this is exactly it. But man, it looks shady.
A lot more smoke today than before.
Oh, yeah.
Looking to find the fire.
What is that?
So let's listen to a little bit more of what Congressman Comer said here. And this is not the nail in the coffin, in my opinion, at all for the Biden family, for Joe Biden himself, but it definitely moves the ball down the field. So let's listen in a little bit more to what he has.
On Joe Biden's public office and risked our country's national security. This committee has a duty to ask questions and pursue the facts, no matter where they take us. Through the committee's investigation, we intend to provide transparency to the American people and reach legislative solutions. In only 4 months since obtaining subpoena authority, we have made astonishing progress. Today, we'll talk about that progress. First, we want to discuss information the committee has learned since our last press conference in November. New information investigators have uncovered regarding the transfer of money from foreign entities to the Biden family. Many of the wire payments occurred while Joe Biden was vice president and leading the United States efforts in these countries. First instance, while Vice President Biden was lecturing Romania on anti-corruption policies, in reality, he was a walking billboard for his son and family to collect money. Hunter Biden and his associates capitalized on a lucrative financial relationship with a Romanian national who was under investigation for and later convicted of corruption in Romania. The Bidens received over $1 million for the deal. And 16 of the 17 payments to their associates' account that funneled the Bidens' money occurred while Joe Biden was vice president. In fact, the money stops flowing from the Romanian national soon after Joe Biden leaves the vice presidency. This is a pattern of influence peddling. This appears separate from any payment Hunter received from his work connecting this individual to a U.S. law firm. We'll also provide further information regarding the Bidens' relationship with China. This includes 2 individuals the committee is particularly concerned about. One of them, Xi Jinping, had close ties to the highest levels of the Chinese Communist Party and operated a multi-billion-dollar energy company with access to large sums of money. We'll discuss how the Bidens received millions of dollars from this individual through the use of shell companies and wire transfers.
So when you were listening to Congressman there speaking about what is taking place, the entirety of what Congressman Comer was talking about took over 10 minutes. And one thing, Brad, that I thought was really interesting about how this whole experience was set up, that from what I've taken in, they've been saying for maybe 3-4 days now, this is going to happen on Wednesday. We are going to reveal on Wednesday many of the details that we have that say, yeah, this is a really big deal. And there are a lot of questions, and we are going to investigate till we find out the answers to our questions about where the Biden family was enriching themselves from which individuals and the conjunction that was taking place to Joe Biden as then acting vice president. That's a part of this puzzle that Joe Biden has said over and over and over again. He had nothing to do with it. He's been emphatic, Brad, about the fact that he has nothing to do with what Hunter Biden was doing overseas.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
Did you ever?
No. I mean, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. There's an outside chance, an outside possibility. You know, let's be fair. There's the benefit of the doubt. But, man, how can you, there's no way that that his son rode on an airplane with him to do official business in China and then comes back. And a week later, they got $1 billion
from China.
You know,
just feels like if it was Trump, then it would just be like you're now in prison.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the other thing too. You go back to this. He's like, well, what are they doing? What is the business? What is their business? What are they selling? What was worth $1 billion to the Chinese company that that Hunter Biden struck this deal with? What you know?
Yeah. What'd you get?
You know, what were they selling you? What is the product? What is Hunter Biden selling? What is Joe Biden's brother selling? What is Joe Biden's sister selling?
Why did the payments stop when you were no longer the vice president?
That's the other question.
YouTube Live Chat poll for today is, will Joe Biden be the Democrat nominee? Yes or no? Be interested to see. I feel as though every time we've asked this question before, it's a majority yes. It's not a convicted yes.
Right.
I don't mean to use that word. It's not a very assured yes. But does this change anybody's mind? Do you see this and think he's not going to make this for a variety of reasons? You don't think he's going to be the nominee. So if you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and you open today's live broadcast, in the live chat portion is the poll. It's just a yes or no answer. You can leave a comment if you so choose. Mark says on YouTube, President Kamala Harris coming soon. Way to go, Comer. We blame him then? Is that whose fault it is? That would definitely mean he wouldn't be the nominee, I would presume. Let's listen to more. All right, maybe it's not going to play. Well, let's get some reaction. I can get back to that here in a second. Here's Byron Donalds.
The bottom line is there is no real business here. None. And let me also say this, because I know there are many in this room who wanted to go down all the various schemes that our colleagues on the other side of the aisle accused the former president of. Be very clear. The former president actually had a business, very big business. You could say it was his name. You could say it was his buildings. You could say it was wine. You could say it was branding. You could say it was The Apprentice. But he had a very big and legitimate business, which everybody in this room clearly knows and understands and can point to and say, that's the thing, that thing over there. Joe Biden has no business except his position in politics. And it is the requirement of this committee to investigate that. We're going to continue to do that, and we're going to let the facts speak for themselves. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very good.
That's a really, really key point from Byron Donalds. Interesting that he's stepping into this conversation and bringing the Trump question into it and saying, for everybody who's going to say, yeah, but Trump on this, because of course there's going to be a lot of yeah, but Trump. There are responsibilities that a global businessman in Donald Trump has around the world. You can question those facts, but you can or maybe the relationships, especially I know a lot of people who get worked up about the stuff that with Ivanka Trump, patents and China and all this stuff. Look into it. It's not about that. And for some, it might be about that. And to that, I say, investigate it to your heart's content. I'm not here to stop that. I'm not here to say because somebody has any specific last name that they're not supposed to be. What is the phrase? No one is above the law? Is that what it is? I keep hearing that phrase, but it just seems like it's never about the people who are saying it. No one is above the law but us is what it really feels like what's happening. Let's listen to Jim Jordan react.
Suspicious activity reports. The key word in that phrase is the word suspicious. There are 170 of those reports, many of them put together by the Treasury Department of our government in the Obama-Biden administration. So 170 of those that the committee has reviewed, thousands of pages of bank records the committee has reviewed, and that has told us that there are now multiple, as Mr. Donalds just said, multiple LLCs receiving money from foreign entities and paying that money out to multiple members of the Biden family. And the fundamental question is the one Byron just raised. For what? What did they do? What was the business? What service did they provide? What value did they add? What did they do to warrant receipt of the money? That is the fundamental question, and no one seems to have an answer to that fundamental question.
All valid points. All valid points. Here's more from
But Mr.
Jordan.
Comer, Chairman Comer, and the team, that's what we're looking into, trying to get. And I would just say this, too. Why not just come clean? Why not just be honest with us? Why not tell us the truth? But I would tell you this. I think it's a pattern with this administration. They haven't been square with us, straight with the American people about anything. They tell us the border is secure. We know it isn't. They tell us our debt ceiling bill is going to hurt veterans. No, it doesn't. Joe Biden said during the campaign that the letter from 51 former intel officials, when he used it in the debate, he portrayed it as if it was organic. And we now know through another investigation that we're all working on that, in fact, it was coordinated. That letter from 51 former intel officials was coordinated with the Biden campaign. So much so, the Biden campaign told Mike Morrell, here's the journalist we want you to have the story to, the letter to first. Why not just be straight with us? Why not come clean? Why not tell us the truth? Tell the American people the truth. They deserve that from their government.
Jim Jordan, he's got it all figured out. And wasn't he oversight before this? He went to judiciary, or has he always been judiciary?
I think he did oversight when Chaffetz was there.
Yeah. Oh man. I want answers. I want the truth. I can handle the truth. Get to the bottom of it. Tell the American people what's going on here. The American people do deserve answers to this question. The American people do deserve answers to how a family like Hunter Biden, I mean, good grief. How do you buy that much cocaine and not have any money? Where does he get the money from? Where's the money coming in from? He's serving, what was the Burisma board? The Burisma board was something like 30-something thousand a month. I off the top of my head, check my facts, fact check me, whatever. But I mean, it was an obnoxious, obscene amount of money. And he has, I mean, I could be on the board. I have as much experience when it comes to energy in Ukraine as Hunter Biden did. How did he get that position? Look at all of the places where Joe Biden would go, and this is what this congressional committee is doing. Watch where Vice President Joe Biden would go. In many cases, Hunter was going with him. He goes to a country, comes back, within a short amount of time, dumps of cash going into the Biden family. Just give us an explanation. Give us an answer. Because if this stuff kind of randomly happens, why isn't it happening to me? Where's my dump of cash into my checking account? And I'm like, I don't know, it's from China, but I didn't do anything to deserve it, and I didn't do anything wrong to have it, so I have no explanation. I mean, this doesn't just, that's ridiculous. That doesn't just happen. These coincidences are not going to be believable by the American people. And I present to you, anybody in the media, that if you are the one who goes and gets to the bottom of the facts and presents Republicans and Democrats and moderates and apolitical people alike with the facts of the situation, that the truth will bear out and we will as a country make a decision that's good for this, for the future of this nation. And I'm not saying it goes into a Republican or a Democrat mode. It is not a Democrat attribute to be corrupt. It is not a Republican attribute to be corrupt. I would attest that it is a human attribute to be corrupt, and it takes all kinds of special kinds of people who can go there and fight against the urge and the access that becomes available to these people once they get in there and get drunk on the power that comes along with government. That is the entire predicate for the United States of America. The understanding of how power drunk men, capital M, all people, can be when they have access to this kind of a power, and the intoxication that comes after it to want to control everybody who is underneath their thumb, to enrich themselves with power and money. That is a bipartisan problem across the board. We can see many people who have been presidents and Congress people who have served their country, gone in with good intentions, and come out really, really wealthy, and you wonder, how'd that happen? It sucks you in. And if we want to get to truth, where we get to be the empowered people, we get to be the enriched people because we are the capital P people, give us the truth. We can handle it. Let the chips fall where they may. Trump, Biden, Trump family, Biden family, anybody else who comes, DeSantis, Newsom, Pritzker, whomever it might be, give us the truth. We can handle it. And this situation is absolutely no different. Want to know what you think about this? Flood us with your comments. Wiggins has taken the day off today. We think he'll be back tomorrow. So Hannah's going to be in at 12:45 to do her version of Wiggins America. We're looking forward to that. It is a super packed show. When we come back, the Missouri Secretary of State, Jay Ashcroft, is going to join us. And we're going to talk about this situation with him, get his immediate reaction, and then the other things that are facing Mr. Ashcroft as he continues his job as Secretary of State and his pursuit for the governorship. Lots to talk about. Title 42, we'll get to that at 1:25 with Chad Wolf and our good friend Bret Mega from Neighbor right over there, Y98 in studio at 105. Don't go away. Back in a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Just wanna keep calling your name until you come back home. I just wanna keep calling your name.
Water Sweet Soap Company. That's water, SWEETS, soap.com. If you are wanting to shop online, put in promo code Annie, save 10%. Have you gone and visited them yet? Send me a message if you do and tell me what you like. Let me tell you what I like. If you're going in there and looking for something for yourself, men and women alike. Brad, I'm going to put you on here real quick. You use, is it the beard oil?
I use the beard oil and their soaps.
It's fantastic.
Amazing.
And you go back for it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to tell you, and don't say what you used to use, but you replace something you used regularly.
For sure.
With Water Sweets.
Yes.
For your beard.
For my beard.
Fantastic.
Because it's good stuff.
Thank you very much. When you go into Water Sweets soap, you are going to mention my name. Just say, I heard about you on the Andy Fry Show. They're going to give you a free gift. That's pretty cool. And what I love is their sugar scrub, top notch, one of my favorite things in there. But my newest favorite thing that I'm using and my athlete kids are using is their Salt Body Bar. It is an amazing cleanser for your skin in an incredibly natural way. So if you're getting, sweat and stuff on your skin and maybe it's causing some irritation or some breakouts, that Salt Body Bar, it's helped my family dramatically, and it's doing it in a non-chemical way, which I completely appreciate. Go into Water Sweet Soap Company, say, I'm looking for a Mother's Day gift. I'm looking for something for myself. What is Annie like? They can give them a budget. They can make a box for you for Mother's Day. You don't even have to think about it. And you are going to make her incredibly happy. 10% by putting in promo code Annie on the website. Go to watersweetssoap.com.
An update from Illinois Family Institute, illinoisfamily.org. The National Day of Prayer has come and gone, but there's more to pray about in Illinois. And state lawmakers especially need prayer.
Scripture tells us that we should be praying for these people.
Lawmakers want to shut down pregnancy care centers. There's a push for mandatory co-ed bathrooms, and male and female pronouns in state laws could soon be replaced with genderless terms. IFI's David Smith.
Many of these people have anti-family agendas that would actually harm our children, our family, our schools, our communities. Even if we don't agree with them, we must be praying for them because God can turn hearts and minds towards himself.
Pray for our elected leaders and sign up for IFI email alerts at illinoisfamily.org.
The wait is over. Golden Oak Lending announces that we have dropped our mortgage rates to the lowest they've been all year.
If you've thought about purchasing a home or getting cash out to wipe out debt, you can now benefit from Golden Oak's low 5.25% rate.
Credit card rates are at an all-time high. Don't pay over 25% in interest.
Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 5.25% fixed, 5.928% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
If you're a business owner, are you feeling the pressures of running your business? There's a limit to what you can do and still keep employees engaged. Insperity brings 30-plus years of HR experience to help you with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance while giving your employees competitive benefit options. You're able to focus on other priorities. Your employees can thrive and your business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Full-service HR, employee benefits, HR technology. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
We've got Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft coming up next. Don't go anywhere. The time is 12:28. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
If you're as thankful to your first responders as we are, then nominate a local department and let us feed them a great meal. Compliments of Grill Master Tony Stone. Mark Cox here. Visit 971talk.com/contests. Help us feed our first responders. You can nominate someone today.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Again, the fundamental question is, what did they do to warrant the receipt of millions and millions of dollars? Why did Joe Biden's brother? Why did Joe Biden's sister-in-law? Why did Joe Biden's son? Why did so many family members get the money? What did they do to warrant receipt of that money? That's the fundamental question. Chairman Comer and the team have done great work, and they're determined to get answers to those fundamental questions.
Well, we got a whole heap of stuff to talk about with our next guest, but I had to get his comment on this breaking news this morning with the Oversight Committee, the House Republicans providing this information to the American people. We've been covering it all the show. So let's get an opinion on this from Jay Ashcroft. He's the Missouri Secretary of State, my new friend from our Lincoln Day dinner, the Madison County Lincoln Day dinner. Welcome back to the show. We appreciate you being here. What are your thoughts?
You are so kind. Thanks for having me on. Look, I am flabbergasted because the way that the president has been acting at times made me think that maybe someone had paid him off, that maybe he was really more concerned with China than the United States. And I kept telling myself, well, clearly there has to be something else here. Clearly we couldn't have elected an individual that would take millions of dollars from foreign countries to change how he would make decisions. He couldn't be bought off. That's something you hear about in the movies, and I thought it was just a conspiracy thing. And yet, lo and behold, he has taken tens of millions of dollars, it looks like. His family has. They have gone to great lengths to hide it and to obfuscate it. There is no simpler answer than, yes, he has been bought off. Yes, that would explain why he puts other countries in front of America. And it is, I never thought I'd see this day.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you are comparing, which a lot of people are going to do, they have been doing and are going to do, the investigations and the allegations against Donald Trump and Donald Trump's family members, where they get their money from, how they use their money, what they've used to use their money to get more money. Up until this point, there hasn't even been a conversation broadly across media about the Biden family, but it sure seems like that whole where there's smoke, there's fire. You can't even see through the cloud of smoke right now surrounding this family.
It is the worst thing imaginable, and it seems like it's a conspiracy theory, and yet all the facts add up. And there is no explanation that is coming from the White House. It's just, this is a partisan witch hunt. This isn't true. What isn't true? Show us the evidence of that. I mean, remember the video where we have then candidate, that came out when President Biden was a candidate, of when he was saying that he went to Romania and said, you either get rid of this guy or I'm holding up this $1 billion?
Yeah.
Evidently, he was just admitting to how he acts.
Yeah. Do you believe right now? Okay, let me just ask you this question, then we're going to move on to a different topic. But the presentation of his mental competency right now and his having his druthers about himself, it makes a lot of people question whether he's up for the job. Do you think that he knows? Do you think he knows the answers to all these questions that people want to know right now? You think he's capable of answering them?
I don't think he knows all of them. And if he does know them, there is a modicum of intelligence in him that he understands that he can't answer those questions, because it sure seems like he'd be incriminating himself.
Well, we're going to follow the story, and I know that you're going to be watching it as well. The whole country will be.
It's heartbreaking.
It's sad for the country, isn't it? I mean, if you're a Republican or a Democrat, watching this president's decline, but also seeing all of these controversies surrounding the highest office in the land, and knowing that Missourians right now, where you are serving in statewide office, there are things that Missourians are having to deal with because this administration isn't paying attention to the details that matter to everyday American lives.
We went from an America First president to a my banking account first president. That's how far we've fallen.
Well, Missouri is getting the work done of the people, of course, with the supermajorities of Republicans in the state of Missouri. I, as you know, live in Illinois. We don't know anything about supermajorities of Republicans. Sometimes
I don't think I do either with what they do here.
Well, I'm going to read this report here from Emily Manley on Twitter. Breaking: legislation requiring transgender athletes to compete on the sports team that matches the sex on their birth certificate is headed to the governor's desk. What do you think about this action by the Missouri legislature and the stance that they are taking on behalf of Missourians?
I think it's a half-hearted. It's the least they could do. I hate to say this, but the House passed a great bill that would essentially protect female athletes and children from surgical mutilation for time immemorial. It went to the state Senate, and the state Senate said, no, we can't protect kids that long. This law has to end in 4 years. So what they did, the Senate did, and what ended up being passed by the House and the Senate, they said, you have to let women play in sports. You have to keep transgender students from kicking other people out of sports, but only for the next 4 years. After 4 years, it's okay. We will protect kids from these surgical mutilations unless they've already talked to a doctor, because they put a safe harbor in there that said, as long as you talk to a doctor before August 28th of this year, this law won't apply to you. And even for the people the law applies to, it only applies for 4 years. I remember, I think it was just last year, the legislature passed tax credits with 4-year sunsets, and the governor vetoed them because he said 4-year tax credits were too short. And yet here we are saying it's too short for tax credits, but it's long enough to protect our kids. That's reprehensible, and every one of those senators that moved to change that bill like that ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Well, we're speaking with the Missouri Secretary of State, Jay Ashcroft, and I see these efforts by the House and the Senate in Missouri, and I see that at least they're pointed in the right direction. But it is important for people right now to be thinking on these issues as voters, as taxpayers as well. I'm wondering, when you look at an issue specifically like that, and I was a former four-sport athlete through my senior year of high school, and I've said this many times on this show, as a girl athlete, as a female who played basketball, volleyball, I did softball, I did track, there was never the interest in our games the way there were boys' games. And that was something that was understood. We understood that, the school showed up for the boys' games, and we had people come to watch our games as well. But when girls play sports, it's almost for a different reason than boys do, because there isn't as much of a public interest in it. Girls get the opportunity when they play sports to learn teamwork. They get to learn how to fail. They get to learn how to succeed after failure. They get to learn all of these really important things that boys also get to learn, but they've always done it on a smaller stage, and now they're not even going to be able to do it there. Is this an issue that really does need government intervention? Is it cultural? Does it require both? What do you think?
It's all the above. I mean, if there's one thing that we should all agree that government can do, government should step in for those with no or little voice, those with no or little political power when they're being abused, when they're being taken advantage of, when they're not being given a fair shake. And when we are letting boys that somehow think they're girls play in girls' sports and displace girls' sports, that is wrong. And yes, historically, women's sports have been on a smaller stage than men's sports, but I actually think there's been change in that in the last 10 years. I think we've seen some of our women's sports that are really growing at a rate to say, hey, wait a minute, we're real athletes too. Just because we're women, watch what we can do. And we should be encouraging that instead of discouraging women to play in sports when they know that they can't get a fair shake. Why can't we just let everybody play sports?
That's right. And there are voices that need to be heard on this particular issue. And I think that men need to stand up. It's weird to me my grandmother was from Australia, and she met my grandpa during the World War, came here, and really kind of had to fit into a different culture than she was raised in. But she was kind of a traditional feminist. But she was able to understand what it was like for women to go through and gain rights in her time. Then I think about my mom, who was able to find herself, in management in a way where her voice was equally heard, to lead things in the same way that men are. And then I'm like, okay, so where am I in this progression of feminism and classic liberalism that exists? And it turns out that I just need to be recognized as a woman. That's really where feminism is for my generation. Like, I just need to be able to own the fact that I am biologically female and that is supposed to mean something. That seems a little crazy.
Yeah. And, I think feminism went from people that understood the difference between a man and a woman, and from women that said, wait a minute, we are human beings made in the image of God. We deserve to be treated with just as much respect as men, to, women that wanted to be as vulgar and crass and base as men. And I think that's really unfortunate for society. I'm a little old-fashioned. I don't hold doors for women because they can't open it. I know they can. I hold it because they shouldn't have to.
It's so nice to hear that. Chivalry is not dead. Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft with us right now. Before we let you go, you were running for governor. I got to hear you speak at the Madison County Lincoln Day dinner a couple Fridays ago. And it's interesting to listen to you talk about where Missouri is and to really articulate that Missouri still has work to do. If you're in Illinois, I mean, the grass is literally greener in Missouri. It just is. You have literally.
We are better than Illinois. There's no.
I can't argue with that.
Sorry.
I'm fighting.
I'm not saying we're better than the people.
Right.
We're just better than the government, and our government is better.
But you make the point that there's still a lot of room for improvement. There's still work that needs to be done for the people of Missouri. You've decided you are running for governor, and I want to give you the opportunity to talk to us just briefly here before we let you go. Why is it that your next step is to seek out that office for the people of Missouri?
Because I love public service. I worked in the defense industry. I worked in engineering. I worked in academia, and I had the opportunity to serve others in public service. I love doing that as Secretary of State. I want to continue that. But there are things that need to be done that I can lead on, but I can't really get them accomplished as Secretary of State that I can as governor. We need true education reform where parents are in control of the money, where schools are accountable to parents, not DESE. We need to have real criminal justice reform so that no one in the state of Missouri feels like they need to change neighborhoods so that they can feel safe. We need businesses to want to relocate here. We need to get a control over our state spending, which has doubled in the last 10 years. That's not sustainable. We need to understand that we're here to serve the people, and government should be just large enough to maximize people's freedom and ability to make their own decisions, and no bigger. That's why I'm running, because I want everyone in Missouri to know that there is a greater future and that we can be a place where kids want to stay, that want to raise their families, because they can be more successful in Missouri than anywhere else in the nation. That's why I'm running.
Well, we love having your voice here with us. Thank you so much for the time, and we're going to continue to watch this Joe Biden and stuff as it unfolds, and maybe we'll have you back as the details continue to seep out of Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much. Have a great day in Missouri.
Yeah, you as well. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft with us, and great to speak with him. He's very fun. Quick break. When we come back, it's a Hannah takeover of Wiggins America. We have Ryan Wiggins is out today. He'll be back tomorrow, we anticipate. And until then, giving Hannah the stage. I have no idea what she's going to talk about. Brad, any idea what Hannah's going to talk to us about?
She has not run anything by me yet.
It is unapproved.
This is unapproved.
Unfiltered. Unabridged. When we come back, Hannah in studio with us. So come join us on the YouTube live chat and say hi to Hannah and cheer her on as she takes over Wiggins America, and vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Will Joe Biden be the Democrat nominee? Yes or no? We'll be back with Hannah in just a second. So Stay Home Medical is somebody. It's an entity you need to have in your phone. So I'm going to give you the phone number here, and then pull up your phone, put the number in, and then save it for an urgent time in your future. 314-944-3003. 314-944-3003. When you have an infection of some kind, if you even need sutures, if you are somebody who has a rash and it needs to be attended to, when you call Stay Home Medical, they come to you so that you can stay home. That's the entire premise. If you're at work and you need them to come to you at work, you will have a nurse practitioner come to you to provide you the care you need. In my household, when one of us goes down with some sort of infection or something, generally speaking, it's a domino effect. Others start to get those symptoms as well. Let's use strep for an example. If I have strep throat and I have two kids that are feeling the same symptoms, maybe they're a day behind of where I am, or maybe my husband has it as well, Stay Home Medical can come to your house. They can swab you for strep. And then if you have it, or they can check other people, instead of having a whole bunch of people go into urgent care to get that taken care of right away, they come to you. Like I said, nurse practitioners who work under a collaborating physician to help you with your urgent care needs. 314-944-3003, online at stayhomemedical.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Have you been suffering with foot pain, knee pain, low back pain, or plantar fasciitis? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you.
My feet would just ache, my back, my ankles. I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet arch supports fit in all your own shoes. Come to the Good Feet store for a free test walk today. You can try it before you buy it.
Air conditioning season coming upon us, and it's $89 to have us come out and make sure the best we can that you're set for summer. I cannot predict how long your furnace or air conditioner will last. If I could, I would be making this commercial from the Caribbean, and I would have billions of dollars. So I can't do that, but what I can do is we can make sure your system is clean, your filter's changed, it's in the best working order. If there's a part that might be failing, we can let you know that and give you a price on that. We will not come in at $89 and try to sell you a brand new system. I do promise you that. So call me. It's really one easy number, and it is one number, just for Missouri and Illinois. There's only one Bart Inman, and that is the number 314-293-2600. Again, Bart Inman. Bart with a B, Inman with an I, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
You remember Satchmo's Bar and Grill. Their owner, Ben Brown, helped lead the fight against Sam Page's lockdown. Mark Cox here. You're going to love this restaurant. Chef-prepared daily lunch and dinner specials, happy hour 3 to 6, 7 days a week, weekly specials, Wagyu meatloaf on Monday night, steak night on Wednesdays for just $10.95, and burger night on Thursdays. Check them out on Facebook or online at satchmosgrill.com at Olive in 141.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about.
97.1 FM Talk.
I look forward to hearing the station all day.
Everyone is welcome. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. This is normally Wiggins America time, but we're giving Ryan the day off. He's just taking a break today, and hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. We'll get an update on that later on. So we thought, who better to fill in and maybe take his job than one Ryan Wiggins? Are you playing it? Okay.
Oh, Wiggins!
Ooh, rough start.
Scary.
Turning on the microphone.
What? Was it not on?
No. You have your headphones in?
I do have my headphones in. They were a little, my volume was a little low though, so I had to fix it.
So you thought, I can't hear myself.
Yep.
I should turn my headphones. Oh, still can't hear myself.
All right. Today we're going to go with a little lighter approach on Wiggins/Hannah's America. I'm going to be giving you guys, maybe you'll remember some of these. I don't know all of them, so I'm hoping you will. The best 90s toys that every kid wanted and that you can still buy today.
Let's do this.
I have a total conspiracy theory about this, which is they brought all of these back because the parents of children now see them, they're nostalgic, and you're like, oh, you really need an Etch-a-Sketch. It's like, why, Mom? I have an iPad.
Right.
No, Etch-a-Sketch, dang it. Go ahead.
Starting off is a Game Boy. These are now $26.99, which I think is
$26.99.
Really cheap. Yes, a Game Boy is now $27. So, did you guys have Game Boys?
I did.
I didn't have a Game Boy. I had a Game Gear.
This funniest thing, and I don't know if anybody listening will remember this, but my brother had a Game Boy adaptation. You took your Game Boy and you put it in this thing, and it made it huge. And it had like speakers on the side. It had a magnifying glass that folded down.
I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And like a joystick and buttons.
Yes.
And I laugh out loud when I look back and think on that. Like the whole point of a Game Boy was it was handheld. And this thing looked like an original Apple computer.
Yeah. I remember that, and I also remember they had, like, because the Game Boy wasn't backlit, so if it was dark out, you couldn't see the screen, and they had an accessory that would go on that would light the screen so you could see it.
Ooh. Next up, we have a Dear Diary. That is $20. This definitely seems like a toy that I would have had. I didn't have one of these, and I've never heard of it. It looks like a little flip phone, and it says a girl in the 90s needed a safe space to jot down her thoughts, dreams, and secret crushes. The Dear Diary was the only safe place from the prying eyes of siblings and parents. The pocket typewriter was ahead of its time in tech and remains a great place for girls 21st century to record their deepest.
It was not a safe space.
No, it wasn't. As a brother, I can guarantee that.
I got into that. Also, if you had the lock, I don't know what this looks like specifically, but the diaries had the little metal sleeves that would go over each side of the book, and then the little padlock that would go on there. You could slide the whole lock apparatus off and just put it back on. Like it stayed locked. Yep. But it was not on the book anymore.
Yep.
Okay, the next one I have not heard of, but it seems to be very popular. A Pog.
Oh,
Yes.
Pogs, yes.
Pogs, yeah.
Yes.
Still not really sure what you did with them.
You just wasted money.
You had a Pog and you had a Slammer.
A Slammer.
And I don't remember what you did with
I
them.
had a bubblegum Slammer.
Oh, did you?
It smelled like bubblegum. And it was, I remember it was pink and black, and you stacked up the Pogs and you'd slam them, and then whichever ones, did you put them face down?
I don't
Whichever
remember.
ones turned, when you slammed them and they exploded everywhere, whichever ones were face up, you got to keep. So I would put my Pogs and your Pogs in a stack. You'd slam the stack down, explode up, and then I could win your Pogs. Basically, it was teaching children how to gamble.
Next up, we have Nickelodeon Gak.
Gak!
Gak. For $9.79, you can buy it now.
If I smelled Gak right now, I would know it was Gak the second it hit my nose.
Same.
Have you heard of it?
I see it on my computer. It looks like Nickelodeon slime. Is slime and Gak the same thing? This is orange.
It's. I think this is a little more viscous, a little more solid.
Viscous. Didn't have that on my bingo card.
But like I remember when you pushed it in, because you had to kind of stuff it in because the container was irregularly shaped like a splat, and it would make all the farting noises when you were stuffing it in the
that's
container.
why it's fun.
Oh, that's one of the reasons.
Next up, this I know and I have Moon Shoes trampoline shoes. Did you guys have those?
I never had them, but I know what they are.
Let me tell you that they are not as they look on the commercials. You go nowhere with the Moon Shoes.
It doesn't matter once they've sold them to you.
Right. They are $36 today. Next up, a Creepy Crawlers bug machine.
I remember that.
Creepy crawlers. Annie, did you have them?
Creepy crawlers.
Oh, that kind of sounds familiar. Creepy crawler. I'm Googling it.
It's like it was like an easy bake oven, but you made like jelly bugs and stuff like that out of it. I don't think that they were edible. I think it was like a squishy toy.
How do you know?
Yeah, edible.
I never tried eating them.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, I remember this.
Next up, Light Bright. I had one of these and I loved it.
Light Bright. How much fun can you have?
Light Brights
Yes.
are really cheap.
My kids had them.
$14.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised. Next up, one of my favorites, a Bop It for $15. I love Bop Its.
I remember the commercial. I had friends who had them. Do you know what a Bop It is?
Yep. Yeah.
Bop It, Twist It, Pull It.
Yep. Like a Simon Says, or like a Simon.
Oh, no. I'm thinking of Skip It.
Skip It. I remember Skip It.
It's next. That's the thing around your ankle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Skip Its are $16. Bop Its are $15. But the new Bop It machines I've seen are really high tech. They got colors and songs and all that. Next up, Annie, I don't know if you knew this one. Mall Madness game.
I know Mall Madness.
I loved Mall Madness.
I had friends who had it, but I don't know that I ever played it. Games always like that always seem like, oh, let's do that. That's fun. And there's too much explaining. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, there is a lot of explaining. Original Weasel Ball. The little weasel on the tennis ball that rolls around.
Oh, I thought that was a dog toy.
No. Human toy for $9.17. Next up, I don't know this is a toy at all. It says a lava lamp.
Oh yeah. My daughter has a lava lamp.
That's a
Except
toy?
for the lava lamps that they make right now are whatever the kind of light that doesn't get hot. What is that?
LED.
Whatever it is, it's not supposed to start fires.
Oh,
unlike how we grew up.
Well, how does the lava lamp work then?
Do you ever touch a hot lava lamp?
One time.
Yeah, it's all it takes. And that is how kids in the 80s learned their lessons.
Of course, we have the Easy Bake Oven. This says that they are $140. I've never had an Easy Bake Oven and or food from an Easy Bake Oven. But
should we get one for the show?
Always.
We could have a brownie.
Wiggins would love that.
No kidding.
He would love it. Well, did you have fun reminiscing on some 90s toys?
Yeah, those are all good.
Yeah.
Toys. Everything right now that seems fun has to be electronic.
Yeah.
Some of those things are electronic too, though. Ugh, those are the days.
Easy.
And you can buy them all now still.
Yes,
because
you can.
They know how much of a sucker we are, millennials. When we come back, Bret Mega, co-host of The Wake Up on Y98, in studio with us, and Chad Wolf on the ending of Title 42. Don't go away.
Wake up, people. You're optimizing every waking hour of your life, from carpooling kids to work to friends and everything in between. You have to get sleep and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep so you learn to sleep better night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number. Save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
So if you're getting ready to maybe put some stuff out on the patio this weekend, if you haven't already, or if you put the old stuff out and you're like, gosh, I kind of need something new. Guess where you can save money on patio furniture, grills, yard decor, and more? Yeah, Ruler Foods. Who knew? I bet you didn't. This is why you got to stop in your Ruler Foods if you haven't done it yet. For those of you who are hearing me like, Annie, I started going there a month or two ago when you started talking about Ruler Foods, and now I go every week. Just sit here and sit on my side of the line and say, see, I told you. If you haven't gone yet, check out the Ruler Foods closest to you. You go online to rulerfoods.com, and when you walk into the Ruler Foods that you discovered, the one that's closest to you, to your workplace, to church, whatever it is, and you walk around, you're going to go, oh my gosh, why haven't I listened to Annie sooner on this? You go, you save. You don't have to clip coupons. You don't have to do a whole bunch of things to save money. You just have to shop there to save money. They've got great deals on meat, on produce, on cheese. They even have 10-inch Boston Ferns right now, $12 while supplies last. rulerfoods.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Arraignment day for a member of Congress. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. Freshman Republican George Santos, who admits lying about his past, appearing in federal court on New York's Long Island after being indicted on multiple charges, including money laundering, wire fraud, and false statements to Congress.
Prosecutors say the New York congressman used political contributions to line his pockets, illegally applied for unemployment benefits during the height of the pandemic, and lied to the House of Representatives, just to name a few. So there have been growing calls for Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to expel George Santos, but it's not up to the speaker, as Santos has only been indicted, not convicted. Right now, McCarthy says he's withholding judgment and will not urge Santos to resign.
Fox's Alexis McAdams at the courthouse, an ice slip. The Homeland Security chief warning migrants that anyone who crosses illegally is not eligible to seek asylum, also urging them not to believe smugglers' promises as the border restriction known as Title 42 ends tomorrow night.
We are clear-eyed about the challenges we are likely to face in the days and weeks ahead, which have the potential to be very difficult.
Though Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas also says the administration's been preparing for nearly 2 years for a transition, and they're surging resources. But thousands are camping out or lining up to cross from Mexico. Texas making its own stand along the Rio Grande River.
Texas DPS and Texas National Guard soldiers at the edge of the river physically blocking migrants from entering the U.S. after they crossed over illegally. People standing there with kids. They expect to be let in, but this time the Texas National Guard and DPS said no.
Fox's Bill Malugin in Brownsville, Texas. Secretary Mayorkas referring reporters' questions about the legality of the Texas tactics to the Justice Department. A panel of advisors just recommending that the FDA approve sales of a birth control pill without a prescription, the first over-the-counter contraceptive medication. A final decision expected this summer. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
The internet can be an all-you-can-eat buffet for identity thieves.
Ugh, so full.
Too many maiden names.
And social security numbers.
Where'd you find those?
By the password bar. Can't miss them.
LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss by monitoring your credit and bank statements. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies this afternoon, a little breezy. 82 for the high. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. We drop back into the 70s this evening. 58 for the overnight low. Thursday, partly sunny skies. But we get back into an unsettled weather pattern on Thursday with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. 85 degrees. No all-day rain. And that's the pattern for Friday and right through the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Losing weight with Slim 180 is a way to have a counselor, have somebody who is going to attend to your needs, not my needs, not the next client who's coming in. You and your goals. Slim 180 has multiple programs that can help you achieve those goals. You go and you say, here's the amount of weight I want to lose. I've been trying to lose 30 pounds. I have been carrying these 30 pounds since I had my first baby, and that baby's about to graduate from college. And I want to lose the weight once and for all. I want to do something for me. I want to then get myself to where my knees don't hurt when I walk. I want to be able to keep up with my grandkids. All of these things are important, healthy reasons to lose weight. But the idea that you are going to pursue something that makes you healthier, makes you happier, and doing it with somebody who can help you achieve that goal, it starts at Slim 180. I want you to mention the Annie Frey Show when you go check them out. Receive a discount doing that. You can check out the semaglutide program, which is the prescription that everybody is seeking out right now to help them lose the weight. You can save on that when you go to Slim 180 as opposed to the regular pharmacy. If you want to learn more, go online to myslim180.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Governor Mike Parson.
The media, Mark, it is literally just an agenda. Thank goodness you guys are out there that sure are trying to give honest information.
97.1 FM Talk.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
We trust companies to do what's right, but when they don't, there's Under Law, making a difference, one case at a time.
Call Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618-9 million.
If you're thinking about selling your St. Louis area home, you might be overwhelmed by the process, especially in this market. Mark Cox here. I strongly recommend you call and spend 5 minutes getting to know Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria understands you have questions and that selling your home can be stressful. She has mastered the home selling process with her Guaranteed Sold program. It simply states Gloria will sell your home at your agreed-to price and time frame, or Gloria will buy it. So what's her secret? Gloria already has the buyers. The fact is your home may already be sold. Let Gloria show you how she nets her home sellers more money and how she sells faster on average. Need more proof? Check out Gloria's 5-star reviews and get moving. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and the seller must agree on price and possession date.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're happy that you're here with us this Wednesday afternoon. I'm looking at the screen right now. President Biden blames Republicans as default lunch. So, of course, that's really deep dive there for Fox News Lower Third. I'm excited to have a guest in the studio that we haven't had before, but that I see all the time here at work next door at Y98, the co-host of The Wake Up, Bret Mega.
What's up, Annie? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We had a meeting yesterday, and Annie and I just sat in the back and cracked jokes the entire time.
I told him a little bit about that. It's always fun to be the back of the room.
Oh, yeah.
In the classroom, in the meeting room. Brett and I were hanging out, and it was fun. We did 2 truths and a lie. What was your lie?
That I'd won a twerking contest.
Yeah.
It should be pretty obvious if you just look at me.
Hey, I mean, you can't judge a book by its cover.
I have the flattest, can I say can I swear? Can I say I have to say butt on your guys' show? Okay.
You have to say tushy.
I have to say tushy. Okay. I don't know if your guys' rules. The other day I dropped an a-hole on our show in the middle of the show live on the air.
We have the same FCC rules that you guys have.
Oh, I don't follow them. So you guys follow the rules. Okay. So I have the flattest butt. I literally look like my back just goes straight into my legs. Like they actually goes into you. They're like, what's up with that guy? So
that's hilarious.
I did not win a twerking contest.
But what were your 2 truths?
That I had grabbed Ed Sheeran's butt.
That was one of them.
Wow.
There's a lot of butt stuff.
Yeah. I'm really big into butt stuff, apparently.
Naturally.
Save that. But Ed Sheeran had asked me to grab his butt, actually, because he was trying to prove a point. They told us don't bring up the Taylor Swift lawsuit. where a radio DJ had grabbed her butt. And of course I brought it up and he was like,
You're like, put it on the top of the list.
yeah, put it on the top of the list. And so Ed's like, grab my butt. Let me show you what consent looks like. And so I grabbed Ed Sheeran's butt. It was awesome.
What letter was his butt shaped like? Yours is U-shaped.
The peach emoji. That's why I came up with the peach emoji, Ed.
Good to know. So yeah, Brett and I were sitting in the back, and we see each other every day passing the halls, and we went to a Cardinals game. Together last year, I think it was, and we struck up some conversations. And, it's interesting for me to look at all these people, my brothers and sisters here in radio, and we're all doing different things. And we have different audiences, and we respect those audiences. If I were to come onto the Wake Up and do a segment of my show in the Wake Up, that would not be good for the Wake Up. That's not the audience.
You can't even kind of sort of mention politics before you get a text going, are you guys going to talk about politics? Like,
yeah.
No, chill, maybe. I don't know.
Yes, at 1 o'clock on the Henny Fry Show on Sister Station 97.1. We have we've had D to the C in here with 96.3. We have Princess Storm with Hot 104.1. We have KMOX people in here all the time. And we just like to bring people in from our Odyssey St. Louis family. And especially if you've been exposed to the show, Brett, you kind of know what we talk about. You have your thoughts and opinions. You're not ripped from the right-wing conservative cloth, but you absolutely have your own thoughts and opinions on things.
Yeah.
And you care.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I probably represent what I think most of us are. Like the media, which is what you guys do for a living, represents a certain lane. But I think most of us as Americans, we are sort of a little bit cherry pick here on the left. So we sort of cherry pick a little bit on the right, and we're kind of all in the middle. And I do represent that, I feel like.
And I think that most people are really sick and tired of the drama that clouds and shrouds the important stuff. So if you are going to the grocery store and you're like, what the heck? If you are, if you're somebody who's looking for maybe on the left more social liberties or whatever it is, and it's like, why is this not obvious? Then, you're sitting here going, why is there so much bickering? There's nothing getting done. Can I ask you the question here that I asked you in the back of the room?
I'm an open book, so go ahead. What'd you say?
I said to him, I go, who do you want for the president in November 2024?
Oh, I said DeSantis because a couple of different reasons. I joked, but it is a serious concern. I did it in a joking manner. I said, I think Biden might die. And I joked around it's a serious concern, I think, of anybody when you get to a certain age. And it's the same on Trump's side, too. It's the same concern I would have is if you could, Miss Pat lives next door to me. She's 79 years old. When she's pulling out of her driveway, I don't pull out at the same time.
Yeah, right.
There's certain times where I just you have lived your life. You have served our country. You're good. I don't need you to be working in your 80s.
In charge of the free world.
I don't need you in charge.
Do you feel like there should be an age limit? Do you feel like you should be able to age out of being able to be the president of the United States?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's more of a mental, competency question than anything else. But I do think as you study the brain, you see a decrease in it at any age, any person. And so, yeah, I do think you should be hey, and I also think with the age limit too, it just creates opportunities for younger generations to get involved.
Yeah.
Because all we do see, someone who represents Y98 is, and the people who listen to those shows, is the older demographic of people in charge. And you're like, well, I don't know, that's just somebody else's job who's in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And maybe it doesn't need to be someone else's job in their 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Unless you want to tell me, I want to ask you your specific age. What generation are you?
Millennial. I'm in my mid-30s.
So, okay. So I'm 39.
Okay.
And I find it interesting that I'm about to be 40 years old. I have 4 kids. One of them's a teenager. And I still look at our leaders and I still feel like a kid.
Yes.
And it's pretty soon I'm going to be 40. I'm going to be collecting Social Security before my generation is going to be able to come in and be the ones who start doing the things that need to be taken care of for people who are 40, who have mortgages, who are working full time, who are helping take care of their parents, who are helping take care of their kids. I mean, the Gen Xers and the millennials are of the age right now where we are capable of handling these things. Of course, I have respect for people who have experience, but you would kind of like it to be a mix.
Yeah.
It seems like at the highest levels right now of government representation, that when you have, what is Dianne Feinstein?
She's in her 90s.
Is she in her 90s now? Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just kind of amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to elect people to represent you, to help facilitate decisions that matter to you, but like you don't feel like they're representing you. It's hard. And it really is. You do feel like, well, they're looking at our generation differently, or they see it differently. And of course they see it differently. They grew up differently. We're all products of a little bit of everything, but a lot of it's our environment, who we surround ourselves with. And you usually surround yourself with people like that are like-minded or have certain ages. I don't know, like these people that are 80 years old, I don't feel like they really truly understand what it's like to be me at 35 years old.
And if they can remember what it was like to be 35, your 35 is not their 35.
Agreed.
Very different situations. I just looked, she's going to turn 90 in June.
Wow.
She's almost 90.
Wow.
And here's another thing too. We've got Hannah in here. So have you two been on the Wake Up at the same time?
Yep.
Yeah, Hannah's filled in twice, I think.
Hannah, every once in a while, when we see Hannah and she's like clinging to 3 coffees at 11 a.m., we're like, did you do Y98 show this morning? She's like, yes, I did. I'll be fine. And so she has been able to go, this was a very cool connection and very excited to see her grow that way. But sometimes you're not working with Bret because Bret's off and you're filling in for Bret.
Right.
So you're Gen Z.
I am.
So
21.
we're talking about millennials and Gen Xers. As a 21-year-old Gen Zer, there is a lot of representation, Hannah, that doesn't, I don't know, where do you look right now at government and be like, oh, those people represent me? Is
really nowhere.
What about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
Absolutely not. She does not represent anything I believe in. She is the farthest away from me.
So, Bret, you work in an environment, which is what most people do, where you're not talking about politics.
Yeah.
Everybody is dynamic and has their own individual thoughts. All of our coworkers around this building, we all have dramatically differing thoughts on all things politics. It is important. It is also important to be able to go into an environment and not have politics precede everything. I'm wondering if you feel like in your life, does politics find its way in a lot to your conversations, or are you able to pretty much avoid it?
What's interesting is what we define as politics, I think, is changing, especially from the media standpoint. I think you talk about like representation in our generations.
Yeah.
We used to look at politics as always being some kind of policy or some kind of bills that were getting passed. But I think politics, as in terms of a conversation, is now becoming lifestyle. Like, this is who we are, and we want these people.
It's like an accessory.
Or they're voting on things or making decisions that affect our daily life. That's what they're supposed to be doing. And so what our show is a lifestyle-driven show that constantly is talking about what is going on in their lives, what stresses them out, what wakes them up in the morning, what makes them happy, what makes them sad. And so in some way, politics are a fabric of every conversation we're all having, because every decision these leaders are making affect our well-being.
And it's bleeding together, and you can see that.
Yeah, you have Ruler Foods as an endorsement still, right? Yeah, so we both have Ruler Foods as an endorsement, because the grocery store, when you walk into it, we all walk into it, whether Republican or Democrat, we're all walking in with the same issue. I want to pay significantly less for my groceries. And so it's a part of everyday life, and that's what I think we represent on our show.
Like Bar S Bacon, 2 for $5. Yeah. I have the copy points right here. But you're right. That when you're buying bacon, if you're buying produce, if you're buying meat to feed your family, everybody wants to pay less.
Yep.
And if you are being asked to pay more, there better be a really good reason why that ticks up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem right now that like voters and taxpayers are even provided with the reasons why things need to go up, if that is the suggestion by their government representatives, that, things are going to cost more because we need to invest money in something other than what's going to cause this to be cheaper. I don't feel like it's very easy to get real information. I don't think you're supposed to. I don't actually think you're supposed to even think about things. I think you're only supposed to feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're seeing a little bit of that, like in a deeper, larger conversations. Tucker Carlson going to Twitter, right? Like, huge example of like, well, we all answer to corporate. And so I say this all the time to people, like, well, do these people who are on 97.1, do they all think every single thing Republican or right-minded? Like, well, no, but they do target a certain audience. And so when you're judged based off ratings or based off what our corporate leaders expectations, we're constantly getting things shoved down on us, whether we want to admit it or not. You have to like answer to those people. Wherein you have freedom of press and you have freedom to do whatever you want and you have freedom of financial freedom where you don't have to like worry about your next paycheck coming in. Sometimes it's easier to get information, but I don't think that is represented by the media. We all have corporate bosses that have corporate agendas and corporate salespeople that want a certain agenda to fit their narrative.
Yeah, I think that's why it's so important to have like voices for, at least for this show here specifically, for me to be able to bring in people like you, Bret, off Y98, or to bring in my friends from our hip hop stations, because we're all individual people. And really outside, if we were, you know, selling paper clips, we wouldn't know all these things about each other. And I'm always, every once in a while, we'll have like a really fiery segment, and I'll be like, who is in the bathroom listening to that?
Oh, that's funny.
Who then I'm going to walk out who's going to be like, oh my gosh, I hate her. She's the worst person ever. But you know, we're here to do a job, and my job is to be true to who I am and to say what I think. And I think now more than ever, it's important for me able to be me, to represent me, to have my beliefs, and to know that Bret sitting over at Y98 might hear me say something that's like, oh, I think that's totally spot on. But for you to not feel like you've got to now go through a checklist to make sure that in order to talk to me, that I meet all of your requirements so that we are completely in simpatico on every belief, because no, that is not human.
Yeah, no, it's really well said. I actually think healthy debate actually is what really starts change in motion. Like really having a conversation and actually being open-minded to someone else's perspective and be like, this is why I think the things I think. And you're going, cool, you think that way because of what you've been through. And I never have been through that before.
Sure.
And so now I just learned something about you. And now I understand the other side. And understanding and empathy is all we're pretty much all looking for. We're not asking for you to agree with us, but I'm looking for empathy.
Yeah.
We're looking for some understanding.
Completely understand, being willing to understand a person's perspective that is entirely different than yours, and hoping that that person's willing to listen to your perspective, and whatever your foundational belief system is going to not necessarily match other people's. You have your own individual paths to believing what you do. And honestly, many times, if you're willing to listen to someone who comes from a completely different background, who thinks something completely differently than you, when you hear that they believe something completely differently than you do, and you understand why they do, you might actually walk away even more convicted about what you were thinking about in the first place, because you've broadened your perspective on it, and you go, no, I really do feel the way I felt about that before, but now I have an even stronger foundation for it. And they could feel the same way about you. And the idea that you would understand somebody and care more about that person than you do about what's the end goal of this conversation, that you believe what I say that you should believe.
Yeah, like you're looking for validation.
Or that we get each other.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like we as a media could do a better job of opening up those conversations. I mean, it would be nice for two completely contradicting media hosts to jump on each other's show. I got to do an interview with Stephen A. Smith because, and one of the things I brought up to him is he was starting this podcast called like No Mercy that our company like kind of backs and things like that. So it's the reason I got to do the interview. And I was like, I kind of understand where and he wanted to talk politics. I go, I kind of understand where you are politically. Will you have Clay Travis on your show? He's like, I'll have Clay Travis on my show. And I was like, then do it. And it was funny. I didn't get any credit for it because I brought it up before that podcast even launched.
You get credit for it here.
Yeah.
High five.
Clay Travis went on his show and they had a conversation. Two guys who completely disagree with each other. Clay constantly is tagging Stephen A. Smith and disagrees with him strongly, but they had a conversation on a podcast. And Clay could not hate ESPN more. And Stephen A. Smith could not get paid more from ESPN. and so they got a lot of negative feedback, but also a lot of positive feedback. They're like, two guys were willing to have a conversation.
Sure. And if you're getting negative feedback, that means that people paid attention.
Sure.
I mean, the most part. And if they're giving you negative feedback and they didn't pay attention, those are called trolls. And we're amused. We're amused that you spend that much time of your day trying to troll something you didn't even consume. But I digress. Bret, thank you for being in here. We appreciate it. We're going to try to have you back somewhat regularly if you're available, if you're free.
Awesome, yeah.
And
as long as I don't offend anyone.
No, well, there's no promises here for that, and that's okay. That's that First Amendment stuff. And if you see a story that you want to talk about, shoot it to Brad, and we'll figure out how to make it
cool
part of the show.
Awesome.
Hannah, you like working with Bret?
I love working with Bret.
Fantastic. All right. Well, let's take a quick break. Chad Wolf's going to join us when we come back, Executive Director and Chief Strategy Officer at the America First Policy Institute. You should change your name to Chief Strategy Officer at Y98.
Okay, that's what I'm going to go for. Put on the business card.
Yes, the CSO of the Y98, the Wake Up. Bret Mega in studio with us. Thanks, Bret. We'll be back in a minute.
My baby.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
All the blood that I will bleed. I don't know where I belong. I don't know where I went wrong. I can write a song. I belong with you. You belong with me, my sweetheart. I belong with you. You belong with me, my sweetheart.
So I've talked to you about Air Comfort Service, how they've come to my home and they've helped me with a replacement for my HVAC system, my water heater. They've done an AeroSeal duct sealing on my home to even out the distribution of the air that blows through the ventilation. It's so incredibly impactful. And they measure, too, how if first they blow the air through and they measure how much air is leaking out of the ventilation seals, how much air is seeping out of the ventilation while it's going from where the HVAC unit is in the basement up to the second floor where the bedrooms are. And you realize, oh my gosh, I'm paying to heat and cool my house and the air's not even getting where it's supposed to be. They seal the inside of that ventilation and then the air is delivered where it needs to be. Guess what? I can run my air conditioner less. I can run my heater less. That saves me money. They also do commercial repairs. And I want to make sure that you understand Air Comfort Service is there for all of your HVAC needs. You can call Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation to get a free second opinion on commercial HVAC repairs. So if you're a business owner, building manager, operations manager, and you make these decisions or can make this phone call, put this number down and reach out to Air Comfort Service and get that free second opinion. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Online at aircomfortservice.com.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. I'm so proud that we've helped over 15,000 businesses claim over $5 billion in cash incentives. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. Every client is assigned a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to accurately determine eligibility. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and your business might be entitled to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Businesses of all types can qualify, including medical, professional, construction, even nonprofits. Please don't miss out on this. Even your doctor would tell you to get an expert second opinion, and we do a lot of work for doctors. Download the Innovation Refunds app now or go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of $26,000 per employee. GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
Play ball!
Step up to the plate by donating your old car to Goodwill and get 4 box seats to a Cardinal game. Your car donation to Goodwill will help people right here in St. Louis. Donating is easy, towing is free, and you get a tax receipt. Plus, you'll get Cardinal tickets, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. Donate online at mersgoodwill.com. Must mention promo code Cardinals. Hurry while supplies last.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Dale Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Dell's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2023. Save 60%. Code 2023. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Hey, we've got Chad Wolf of the America First Policy Institute coming up here at about 1:30. The time currently is 1:28. This time check is brought to you or sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Well, Kentucky Congressman Jim Comer, the chair of the Oversight Committee, has promised a bombshell about Joe Biden. Will it meet the definition? We'll talk about it Wednesday afternoon.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
We are making it very clear that our border is not open, that crossing irregularly is against the law, and that those who are not eligible for relief will be quickly returned.
So that's the Secretary Mayorkas speaking about the fact that our borders aren't open. They haven't been that vocal and forward with that message for some time when Kamala Harris is the vice president and the czar of whatever, the border czar. Shouldn't we not be using the word czar, Brad? I feel like czar is too
Russian,
Eastern European.
It's very
or
Russian-ish.
Yeah, like, can we drop that? Can we think of something cooler? What would be cooler than czar? I don't know. HBIC. We're going to talk to Chad Wolf here in a minute with the America First Policy Institute about this issue. And gosh, you see some of the visuals right now on the southern border, and you ask yourself, are we just okay with this? Jim Carafano was with us yesterday, and we talked about it quite a bit as well. The White House is blaming Republicans for the southern border issue. That's rich. Fox News says the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, on Wednesday blamed Republicans for the chaotic situation at the U.S.-Mexico border. Like, I can't do this. Claiming that GOP lawmakers, quote, literally refuse to act, end quote, even as the House will vote tomorrow on sweeping border security legislation. They have right now, at this very moment, a bill that they are about to pass. And let's see here. I'm going to pull up this tweet from Thomas Massey because he put this out. He was frustrated about this bill having too much in it because he said, passing 8 bills in a single vote of Congress. I thought we weren't going to do this when we got the majority, yet here we are. These are completely separate bills and should be voted on separately, especially E-Verify, which is an employer mandate, not a border security bill. Don't you wish that they could, Brad, just say, like, okay, we want to pass these 8 things and then pass them as 8 separate bills? I mean, is it going to take some time? Yes.
Yeah.
Is that your job? Do it.
Yes. I don't like omnibus bills. I think that you should, that's why bills are like 7,000 pages long, is because they stuff as much junk in there as they can. I feel like a lot of that, though, is how they get the bills through. It's like, well, if you're going to pass this, I want that. And like, all right, well, nobody believes that, hey, if you pass this now, we'll pass your bill later. So they just smash it together so it passes at the same time. It's kind of like almost like a standoff. It's like you do it or I do it or it doesn't get done.
Here are the 8 parts of this bill. Title I, Asylum Reform and Border Protection. And under here it has sections for safe third country, credible fear interviews, clarification of asylum eligibility, exceptions, employment authorization, asylum fees, rules for determining asylum eligibility, and firm resettlement. Also, notice concerning frivolous asylum applications, technical amendments, and requirement for procedures relating to certain asylum applications. That's part 1 of this 8-part bill. Number 2 is border safety and migrant protection, which includes inspection of applicants for admission, plus operational detention facilities. The third part, preventing uncontrolled migration flows in the Western Hemisphere. The fourth part, ensuring united families at the border. The fifth part, protection of children. Sixth, visa overstays penalties, which is something that people don't talk about very often. It's always like border, but people get here, they come here on visas, and then they don't go home.
Yeah, that one's actually a really big deal that people don't really know about.
And probably deserves a whole conversation.
Oh, for sure.
Number 7, immigration parole reform. And 8th, legal workforce, which includes employment eligibility verification process, which is the E-Verify that we've heard about. The verification system, recruitment, referral, continuation of employment, good faith defense, preemption of states' rights, repeal, penalties, fraud, and misuse of documents, protection of Social Security Administration programs, fraud prevention, use of employment eligibility verification photo tool, and more. I'm just reading here from Thomas Massey, Congressman Massey's tweet here. How does E-Verify impinge on the rights and freedoms of American citizens? Massey replies, if you're good with the NICS background checks, Real ID, FISA warrants, CBDC, no-fly lists, etc., then you likely will have no problem with E-Verify. All is good. Nothing to see here. I would like to see more action from Congress on the issue of the border infiltration that is taking place. And I think that it's important that that conversation is had. And it's often important to understand, too, that the first bill that is put out might not be the bill that gets passed, that there are often many iterations. There's discussion, there's modifications that are made. But it definitely has to be discussed and mulled over. People want to see action happen fast in government, and it's often lost on people how purposely slow, intentionally glacial that the founding fathers wanted American government to work.
Well, the slowness there, like I always say, that the slow grind of government is a feature, not a bug. And the idea is that you don't want your government officials making rash decisions, fast decisions. You want to they set it up that way so there could be a lot of debate, so that you could explore every issue from every given angle, so that your bill is well thought out, well planned, and good for the people. Not just we threw this in there and then, oh no, we didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Well, I want to discuss this more with an expert. I want to have a conversation with our guest here, Chad Wolf, and talk to him about these specific issues, and talk to him about how we are putting forth legislation now. How quickly will that be implemented compared to what is taking place this moment right now at the border? And we're going to work to get connected with him a little bit later in the show. But you can't ignore the fact, no matter what side of the aisle that you're on, that we have a real concern at the southern border. I really do believe what Jim Carafano has told us, Brad, multiple times, and I would say even like a year ago or more, that the border issue is going to be a top tier issue for the 2024 election.
Yeah, I feel like it's been so constant, so much there, that people are almost getting used to it. But those numbers that he shared with us, was that yesterday, where he was talking about how at the current rate we would have 20% of the United States population in illegal immigration.
It's unbelievable.
It's insane. That's a full 1/5 of everybody. So 1 in 5 people be an illegal immigrant. It's unbelievable. And I do kind of agree with him about how I don't know how this could be unintentional at this point.
Yeah. Well, here's Ron DeSantis on the issue. Let's listen in here.
Immigration, legal immigration, nobody has a right to immigrate to this country, no foreigner. We determine as Americans what type of immigration system benefits our country. But when you're doing immigration, it's not for their benefit as foreigners, it's for your benefit as Americans. So if there's legal immigration that's harming Americans, we shouldn't do that either. For example, some of these H-1B visas They would fire American tech workers and hire foreigners at lower wages. I don't agree with that.
So we have to have a discussion. There have to be solutions proposed, but we also have to understand right now that there is a migrant surge coming to our country, and we need to respond to it. Chad Wolf joins us. He's the Executive Director and Chief Strategy Officer at the America First Policy Institute, as well as the Chair of the Center for Homeland Security and Immigration. Mr. Wolf, thank you for coming on to the show with us. It's good to have you here.
Hey, well, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Of course. I want to give you an opportunity right now to set the stage for our listeners. As we have discussed over the course of time, the problem at our southern border. What is the problem today, right now, facing this country, our sovereign southern border, and what is about to head this way?
Well, sure, absolutely. I think what we've seen over the past 2 years is a set of policies implemented by the Biden administration that essentially has encouraged a large group of individuals, has empowered the cartels to traffic illegal aliens across that border in record numbers. And by doing so, they have overwhelmed Border Patrol facilities, Border Patrol agents, shelter capacity along the southern border and elsewhere. And so they keep coming over in record numbers because there's no deterrence in the system. There's no consequences to the illegal activity that they're doing. Government of Mexico is not a willing partner in this as well. So there's a number of factors that have lined up that have put us basically in the worst crisis, at least along that southern border, that we've seen really in our generation, in our lifetime. And that's what's facing us. And on top of all of that's been going on for the past 2 years. You have the end of Title 42, which is an authority that the Department of Homeland Security has used to remove individuals rather rapidly over the course of the last several years. That's going to expire on midnight this Thursday. And so you're going to see another flux of individuals. You're going to see more individuals released into American communities. And you're going to have a surge on top of a surge that's already occurring.
We're speaking with Chad Wolf about the border surge that is taking place. I saw a lower third on Fox News here in the studio while we were doing the show, and it just kind of struck me. And it was implying that this is from the Texas National Guard. Texas is holding the line. That seems like a pretty dramatic statement. Is it an accurate one?
Well, look, when the federal government doesn't do its job, states now have to step up and do border security. And it's something that they really haven't done in their history because the federal government has usually done that. And so you've got places like Texas, really the only one left. Arizona and others have stopped doing that. And so you've got Texas DPS, Department of Public Safety, doing a lot of enforcement measures. But could they be doing more? Could Governor Abbott be doing more? Probably. The answer is yes. But Texas is a big state, requires a lot of resources for them to be doing what they are doing along that border. And so they're taking those resources from other communities in Texas, probably something they haven't planned on doing. But they're having to step up and to try to address and protect Texans living along that border and protect communities in Texas. It's not just women and children coming across that border. I think that's the biggest misconception. There's bad people and bad individuals that are coming across that border every single day. And that's what's really concerning. I think that's what's concerning to the governor.
We're speaking with the former acting secretary of the United States Department of Homeland Security. We're speaking with Chad Wolf. Before I let you go, I want to give you the opportunity to comment on the legislation that is in the House right now. It looks like that there are 8 different measures that are included in this one bill. And I'm wondering, is this a good start? Is this what we need to do, or do we need more?
Yeah, I think that's a good characterization. It's a good first step. There's things in there that secure the border. There are measures in there that help target the cartels and to end human trafficking. And I think that's what we all want at the end of the day. And so it's a good first step. There are some measures in there that my guess is the White House and others don't like. And they don't like it because it takes an enforcement posture and it starts to hold these individuals and the cartels and the groups accountable for defying U.S. law and putting Americans kind of in danger. And so that bill is what I would consider to be an America First bill. It's looking out for the interest of Americans first. From this administration, almost universally, what we hear is they always talk about the illegal aliens and what it is that they need and how is it that we're going to process them quicker and on and on and on and on. And there's little thought and almost no mention of what is all this doing to Americans. And that's why they serve Americans. And that's what they should be doing. So that's what this bill hopefully will be passed in the House on Thursday. that's what it does. And it's a good down payment. More needs to be done, but it's a good first step.
Yeah, we definitely need to take a really broad first step. Chad Wolf joins us now as the Executive Director and Chief Strategy Officer at the American First Policy Institute. Before I let you go, I just want to ask you about your thoughts on the Biden administration's decision to send some of our military down to the southern border. On the surface, it might look like, looks like they're really taking a stand here and taking a firm hand. What are your thoughts on what they decided to do and what the outcome of that decision will be?
So I call that smoke and mirrors, right? I think it's there for them to say and to demonstrate to the American people that they're doing, quote, something about the border. If they were serious about this, they would have deployed thousands of National Guard down to the border months ago, maybe even a year ago. It's almost too little too late. You're going to do it 10 days before Title 42 ends? That doesn't cut it. And those National Guard members aren't going to actually be doing any type of enforcement operation. So you can throw all the resources, you can throw all the people along the border and at the border that you want. If you don't change the fundamental underlying policies that are driving and enticing these illegal aliens to the border, knowing that they'll be released into American communities, then everything else is just for show. If you don't change the policies, then you're going to continue to have this crisis. And this administration has made it abundantly clear that they have no intention of changing any of their fundamental policies. And so you're going to continue to see this crisis that we've now been staring at for 27 months. We're likely going to see it for another couple of years.
I just want a quick follow-up with that. A commenter from our live stream right now, dissenting a little bit, and I want to give you the opportunity to compare and contrast, because the comment is, was it smoke and mirrors when Trump did it? How is what is taking place right now different than what Donald Trump did as president?
Yeah, no, so it's a good question. And so the question is, how do you utilize those National Guard troops? Because what you're essentially doing is you're freeing up Border Patrol agents. And so the question is, well, what are you freeing them up to do? For us, we sent them back out on the line, back out on that border to deter illegal incursions to our border. That's not what the Biden administration is doing. They're trying to free them up so that they process more and more individuals. You've got thousands of them, Border Patrol agents, that is, in processing centers today, building new processing centers so that they can process these illegal aliens quicker and faster to get them into the country quicker. That's exactly the wrong approach to this problem. You're not going to process your way out of this crisis. You've got to solve some underlying policies. You've got to change it. You got to deter some of the illegal behavior. You got to push people into legal pathways. And there's a strategy and a way to do this. But what I will say is the current strategy has not been working for over 2 years. At what point do you say, we've got a broken strategy, it's not working, we need to shift gears and we need to change our tactics? Instead, what you hear, unfortunately, is a doubling down on a failed strategy. They just keep doing more of it, thinking that the outcome, they're going to get a different outcome, and it's just not the case. So we wanted to make sure that we were deterring the behavior. This administration just wants to process more and more of these individuals into the country.
It seems like there's a massive difference between deterrence and apprehension and a larger welcome mat that moves people in quickly.
Well, I think that's right. And I think you can deter. Like, I get a lot of questions about, you're just all about enforcement. That's not really the case. You can do the deterrence and you can do the enforcement while you're still providing humanitarian protections to those who need it. And that's really the key is, let's not overwhelm the system with millions of folks who will never qualify for asylum, never qualify for any of these protections. Instead, let's actually try to root that fraud out, fix that system, and get the small percentage, about 10% of folks actually qualify for asylum and deserve the protections under U.S. law. Let's get that to them quickly. That's how the system should work. All of this data, all of these numbers, some of which I've referred to here, DHS has all of this information. It actually comes from their website. So they know this. They know that there's an immense amount of fraud, and they're not really tackling it head on.
We appreciate you. Chad Wolf, thank you so much for the time. It's going to be quite an interesting next couple of days. We know you're going to be on it. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. He is the Executive Director and Chief Strategy Officer at the America First Policy Institute, including his long resume, former Acting Secretary of the United States Department of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf, with us there. We got to take a quick break, because when we come back, my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw are going to come in and talk about an event where we're going to hang out here in a couple of Tuesdays. No, next Tuesday. It's like upon us. I would love to see you there. Do you know what I'm talking about? Well, you got to stick around to find out. I'll give you all the details. We're going to talk a little economy when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
So PreventSprainSocks.com might sound like something funny, like how great can a pair of socks be, Annie? Stand by and just let me explain how I use Prevent Sprain Socks. First of all, for my athletic activities that I still participate in with my kids, running, and also this past week when we got home from our trip to Florida and we walked 80,000 steps in 3 days, I put these socks on and just used them to walk around in my house. I slept in them and I wore them yesterday, and they have done so much to help my feet recover quickly. Reports indicate 50% less recovery time. They increase the blood flow, which in turn lessens muscle and ankle fatigue. Prevent Sprain Socks. You can go online to PreventSprainSocks.com. And I also want to tell you that they've got socks for golfers out there as well. They have Olympic athletes that use them, NFL players, professional athletes. They have grade school athletes like my kids who use them to play, and they protect their ankles in all of their activities. I stand by these socks as a user of them myself, and I would love it if you gave them a chance for your activities as well. Find them online at PreventSprainSocks.com.
Man, what a great party you're throwing here. This wasp nest is great.
Yeah, man, we got about 70 wasps in here.
Too bad we can't fit any more wasps in here. It looks like they're having fun outside, stinging all the kids. Oh, man, who just pulled up?
Oh, no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They seem to kill every one of my parties.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Just got done speaking with Chad Wolf about Title 42. Really interesting conversation if you're on the Odyssey app. Just rewind it about 10 minutes or so and you can hear us talk to the former acting secretary of the United States Department of Homeland Security. In studio now, we have my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, the Retirement Advisor Group. Thomas and Bob, hello.
Hello.
Good.
For having us.
It's good to have you here. Appreciate you being in here. The economy, I saw some news today. What was it? Inflation, was it like 4.9% or something like that?
Yes, right, right, barely under 5%, and they want to get it down to 2%. It's going to take a while.
They'll keep raising interest rates to do it.
And it's going to, I mean, that's money out of everybody's pocket, fixed income or not.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yes, it is.
So I am so grateful to have my partnership here as an endorser for Retirement Advisory Group, because you've helped. And I love getting the responses from people who have connected with you when they call your phone number, they go to retirementkey.com or attend one of the events, which I'm going to give the details here to you for folks listening in just a minute. But the economy right now doesn't feel super comfortable. It doesn't feel super cozy. It doesn't feel like there's elbow room for error. Would you agree with that, Thomas?
I would completely agree with that.
What about you, Bob?
Biden just keeps spending.
And spending
Yes.
and spending and spending. It's really an important time for people who, I'm 39 years old. I've got time for ups and downs. I'm feeding 4 babies.
You have time to ride the market.
You do.
Yes.
Plenty of time on your side.
If you are somebody who is very close to retirement, late 50s, 60s, and you know retirement is right around the corner, I would imagine, I mean, I have my own stresses in my life, trying to make the dollars go where they need to go. But if you're in that late 50s, 60s time, and you're looking at this economy, Thomas, I'd imagine you have a different set of stresses to look at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They have to. And everybody's afraid of going through last year. Even from a year ago till now, it's barely broke. Nobody has made any money in the market. They're still down. Most people in their 401ks and their IRAs.
You're making me think I should check mine. I should I? I should leave my phone down and not.
You probably
check it.
don't want to look yet.
So let me tell people where I'm going to be with you guys on Tuesday, May 16th. That's next Tuesday. It's at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Thomas and Bob and the people at the Retirement Advisory Group are going to welcome you to this beautiful evening where you can come as you are. And from 6:30 for about 45 minutes, Thomas is going to talk to you about how he can help you achieve that worry-free retirement. And I show up at 6 o'clock and I try to meet every single one of you, shake your hand. I would be so honored for the opportunity to meet you. Mark Cox will be there. Mark Reardon will be there.
And we have fun, don't we?
Yes.
We do a little trivia,
Yes.
hand out T-shirts. It's fun.
It's a really great, easy event to go to, and it costs you nothing in there. Snacks. I'm a mom, so I'm always like, what kind of snacks do we have here? Beverages, coffee, cookies. But what do people, just give us a precursor to what they will consume, either one of you, whoever wants to take that question. What are they going to consume in that evening before they might say, you know what, I'd like to have a longer conversation with you personally?
We're going to educate you on strategies out there that can protect your 401k, your IRAs, and keep your growth. And instead of riding the market and losing money, we're going to teach you how you can never lose a penny of your principal doing so.
Yeah. Thomas, you've shared with me all these positive stories that you have from the 97.1 audience specifically, of people who you're able to take in who are looking at the situation right now, or they feel confident, but they want to be 100% sure of what they can expect.
I would say it's a family event of 97.1 listeners. It really is that come out and see. They come out, they want to meet you and Mark and so on. But every time when they come in, they book an appointment. They want to know, I'd like to have one of my personalized structured income plan put together for me. And it will show you, that individual, how much they'll have coming in retirement, how long your money's going to last, so they can look at each other, the husband and wife, and say, honey, we can afford to retire, or we need to work one more year. And it's a wonderful feeling for us to be able to deliver that to that individual. And we'll show you how to stop losing money in the market.
Right.
And that's the key.
And people are always so surprised when they find out. A lot of them don't know the amount of fees that they're paying on their current 401ks. And when we show them that, they're just blown away. A lot of them paying 3 to 5% alone just in fees. Yeah. Folks, we're going to show you how to get rid of those fees. You're not going to have fees.
That's amazing.
That's the key.
So when you sign up, you do need to give a call, or I think you can sign up online, right?
Yes, you can. Go to retirementkey.com.
So when you call 314-993-9494, you can ask them the details about it if you need to get them again. 6:30, May 16th, Frontenac Hilton. I will be there. Just tell them how many people you want to reserve, and then the spot will be reserved. It's a beautiful hotel, or like conference room and everything. And you guys do put on a very concise, I want people to understand this isn't your entire evening.
No.
You get straight to the point.
We like to get you in and out.
Yes.
In and out.
You're very respectful.
Because I know you got things, people have things to do, but you want to learn. And it's all about educating.
Right now, do you feel like when people come and sit down and they have a conversation with you, how quickly do they get that sigh of relief? Are they exhaling by the time they leave?
Oh, yes.
Yes, they really are. Plus, they get a copy of our book, which educates them on everything. And everything we went over in that educational event, they get to read it and see it again in paper.
It costs you nothing to come to this event. It costs you nothing to sit down and have that conversation with them. I always say I trust my listeners to think for themselves. If I would be lying if I tried to suggest any otherwise. So when you reach out to Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw and the Retirement Advisory Group to set up your own appointment, or hopefully so that I get to meet you, come to this Tuesday, May 16th event. You just listen to what they have to say. And if you say, these people, these guys know what they're talking about, like so many other 97.1 listeners have told me, then you sign up for another appointment with them and you just keep making your own decisions. But the number is 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com. You guys, anything else you want to add in about what they might experience? We got about 20 seconds left here.
Go ahead, Bob.
You're going to come in. Once again, we're going to educate you, and we're going to teach you different strategies, stuff that you will need to know for the rest of your lives.
Yeah.
But I promise you this, they will walk out. Most people walk out and say, how come I've never heard this before, this strategy? I wish I would have heard this 10 years ago.
Well,
and I promise you, folks, you'll learn that something that you'll be able to use.
Amen to
and
that.
Save your retirement.
Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and the amazing friends that I have at the Retirement Advisory Group. You can sign up by calling 314-993-9494. retirementkey.com. We'll be back with the 2 o'clock hour in just a minute.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Illinois Family Institute is focusing on keying in on these issues in Springfield, Illinois, that you care about. Now, I know that the Illinois Family Institute might not be for everybody, but when you look at the state of Illinois and you see how small the representation is in an elected government for people who are like me, who have faith, who want to make sure that religious freedom is defended. You want to make sure that your pro-life views are acknowledged and that you protect life and that you can have a pro-family atmosphere in the state of Illinois. These are all incredibly important things to me, and these are also incredibly important things to the Illinois Family Institute. So they do the legwork for you. They do the hard work for you. They have a mission statement to boldly bring biblical perspectives to public policy. That represents you. Get involved, get their newsletter, get their email news alerts, and be a part of the Illinois Family Institute knowledge. IllinoisFamily.org is where you sign up. Go to IllinoisFamily.org.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Dire warnings about a possible default. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
According again to Moody's, 8 million Americans would lose their jobs, including 400,000 New Yorkers alone. Our economy would fall into recession.
President Biden, in a New York speech, accuses Republicans of holding the economy hostage with demands to attach spending cuts to raising the debt limit. The House Speaker says a bill that doesn't address spending won't pass. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says Congressional and White House staffers are working on a package after yesterday's meeting at the White House. Republican Congressman George Santos pleads not guilty to multiple federal charges. The freshman New York lawmaker accused of stealing campaign funds, lying to Congress, and collecting unemployment benefits he wasn't entitled to. The criminal charges prompting more calls for Santos to be kicked out of Congress.
This is somebody who literally committed a crime in order to get into Congress. It is completely absurd for him to continue to be a member of Congress and walk the halls of Congress while being charged with a crime.
New York Democratic Congressman Dan Goldman, but House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says he will not urge Santos to resign and is reserving judgment for now. Santos is free on a $500,000 bond, and his attorney says he plans to continue a re-election campaign. California Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein says her doctors have advised a lighter schedule as she resumes her duties after a nearly 3-month absence for health issues. Feinstein says she still has some side effects from the shingles virus. The Homeland Security Chief sends a message to migrants.
The lifting of the Title 42 public health order does not mean our border is open.
Secretary Mayorkas says a new rule will kick in tomorrow night, and only migrants using legal pathways can seek asylum. Still, a new surge is expected, with thousands lining up on the Mexican side of the border. America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies this afternoon, a little breezy. 82 for the high. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. We drop back into the 70s this evening. 58 for the overnight low. Thursday, partly sunny skies. But we get back into an unsettled weather pattern on Thursday with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. 85 degrees. No all-day rain. And that's the pattern for Friday and right through the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Have you been suffering with foot pain, knee pain, low back pain, or plantar fasciitis? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you.
My feet would just ache, my back, my ankles. I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet arch supports fit in all your own shoes. Come to the Good Feet store for a free test walk today. You can try it before you buy it.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is a locally owned and operated family business store that is there to help you with your flooring needs. I really am grateful when I can go to a place and make an investment like flooring is going to be, and they're experts on that particular thing. Michael's Flooring Outlet for 30 years has been serving people exactly like you for whatever your flooring needs are. And it's interesting to learn about the technology that has developed over the course of time. When was the last time, if you're replacing your carpet, when was the last time you bought carpet? When you are checking out the new brands that are available, the new technologies that are available, the Mohawk Smart Strand line that's available, the luxury that comes with this carpet, the feel and the resilience of this type of flooring, you are going to understand why Michael's has been serving St. Louisans as a locally owned and operated business for 30 years. They're the best. And they're waiting for you to stop by and say, hey, Annie sent me. I need to buy some flooring. And then the commencement of that conversation starts. Quality, value, and customer service. Top tier issues for Michael's Flooring Outlet. And you will see that when you shop there. Go to igotfloored.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
When children were being fatally injured by window blind cords, Honor Law took on the manufacturers to have dangerous cords banned.
Call Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9,000,000.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Current situation in my life is that I went outside to see if there was anything I could eat because I haven't eaten today, and I saw that they had fresh salad out in the kitchen, I think left over from a staff meeting, but no forks.
Oh, maybe I got a comb for you somewhere.
You got one? Okay, so let's talk about that. Amy Klobuchar got accused of, and I don't think that anyone's ever denied it, I think she was in an airport and she needed to go somewhere and she needed a salad quickly and she didn't have a fork, so she used a comb. That sounds cray-cray and gross. I also don't know that is as crazy. I wonder what the percentage of people who presented the opportunity, if you had to eat and you were really hungry and this was your opportunity, I think the percentage of people who would be willing to do that, who would never have their name be in a headline saying that they did it, I think is higher than most people think it is.
I disagree, because I would just use my hands.
To eat a salad?
Yeah, it's gross, but so is eating with a comb, because
Is eating a salad with your hands in an airport grosser than eating your salad with a comb that maybe you pull the hair off of?
No, I think the comb is still grosser.
I don't know that it is.
I wouldn't want a bite of my salad and get hair
a comb that is, well, if it's a comb, you're not going to have hair on it.
Maybe.
No, a comb is a comb. Are you thinking of a brush?
No, I'm thinking of a comb, like one row of teeth.
If you're using a comb and you're eating it with hair on it, then you're the most disgusting person to ever walk the face of the planet. You would obviously you're not going to pull a comb out of your purse and just start eating it without pulling the hair off of it.
Oh, you would hope not.
Nobody would do that.
Nobody would do that, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get all of the hair off of there. Also, like, what else other kind of products you're putting in your hair that you're now on your utensils that you're going to eat with?
Should I go over the things that could contaminate your hands that you're going to put on your salad in your mouth? It is as gross, if not
But if I have
grosser.
hand sanitizer, I'm good to go.
Hannah, come in here. If Anna is out there too, I want Hannah and Anna on this issue because it's a key one. The other issue that has been plaguing us, they hear us. They're coming. They're sitting out there. They're listening. You come in. The other issue that has been brought up when it comes to this particular issue as well is the accusation that Ron DeSantis had like a pudding cup and ate the pudding cup with his fingers because he didn't have a utensil.
Yeah, that's weird too.
He uses hands. That's your utensil, your emergency utensil of preference.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat pudding with a comb either.
All right. What's going on?
Yeah. Did you hear? First of all, do you ladies know who Amy Klobuchar is?
No.
She's a Michigan senator?
Minnesota.
Michigan City?
No, not from Michigan. She's not the senator from Michigan City. That's right, Minnesota, snow woman. Minnesota, United States senator. Okay. She was in an airport. She was in a rush. She was in a hurry. She had a salad to eat. Anna, she didn't have a fork, which I understand that plight right now. She's got a salad right here in my hands and a blue spoon. And we will see what happens on the break. That is where everybody left the live stream. She decided to eat her salad with her comb. How do you feel about that?
That's a no for me. I think that's gross.
Would you prefer to eat, if you pulled the comb out of your purse,
your own comb?
Which I don't know if it was her own comb or not, but for this particular
She did this at an airport?
Yeah.
There was no restaurant in the whole airport she could have gotten a fork from.
I might have to go back to the original story.
I feel like the original story was that she sent a staffer to grab her a salad. The staffer came back and forgot the thing, and she had a flight to catch, and she didn't have time to get to go back and get a fork.
NBC News. Klobuchar ate her salad with a comb, report says. This is from official NBC News. Facing additional allegations of abusing her staff after a report Friday said the presidential candidate berated an aide for forgetting to bring utensils, forcing the lawmaker to eat a salad with a comb. See, I feel like you could berate that staffer if the staffer forced her to eat it with a comb. But if the staffer neglected to bring some silverware with her, and then you ate it with a comb, that still sounds like her decision.
I get weird about hair, so I feel like, honestly, anything else I could eat it with.
You'd rather eat that salad with your hands in an airport
Probably.
than a comb.
Yeah, I just get really weird about I can't have hair anywhere, like on my bed, in my bathroom, anything.
Which is funny.
I'm
'cause you have
sorry
long,
that you sit
beautiful
next
hair.
to me.
Yeah. So, Hannah, are you thinking you'd rather eat the salad?
So the option is eat the salad with a comb.
Your comb.
My comb.
Out of your purse.
Or your hands. That is a horrible. Either way is
An
bad.
airport. You're in an airport. That matters to me. If I'm like
Airports
in my
are
own,
disgusting.
Airports are gross.
I'm still going with my hands.
Yeah.
I can't. I would think like even the oil from your hair would still be on your comb.
Unlike your hands, which have nothing like that on them.
Yeah, not at all.
All I can think of, no, literally, in this moment, full disclosure, all I can think about is that man wiping his butt with his hand outside the window right here.
That's not.
And that man going and touching the railing that you sat up on or the armrest next to you. That's all I can think about. You know,
I feel like
there's
the gag sound.
I feel like there's something we're not thinking about that she could easily use, and I just can't. I can't
just
come
to
up with it.
Put it up and
I mean, if
put
she's
it
got
down the
if
gauntlet.
she's got people there working for her, I'd be like, all right, it's time.
It's
Somebody
time.
go get me something.
The episode happened in 2008 while the lawmaker was traveling with aides to South Carolina, and a staffer brought a salad for Klobuchar while carrying bags through the airport. This is rough. The New York Times reported. However, the aide forgot utensils, and the flight had none on board.
You think that aide got fired?
Okay, so she was on the plane, prompting Klobuchar to berate the aide and pull a comb from her bag to eat the salad. The paper reported, citing 4 people familiar with the episode. Klobuchar then directed the aide to clean the comb after she had finished.
Just throw it away. Come on.
I can't believe she didn't win.
Here's the best part. NBC News has not confirmed the report.
Interesting.
Amy Klobuchar responded, I think I've been clear on that I love my staff, and you can see what a great job they did putting this together, and we're in this to win the presidency. She was running for president. So Ron DeSantis was apparently in a meeting and had like a pudding pop or something like that. What are those called? Snack pack?
Snack pack.
Oh, puddings.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a utensil, so he used his hands. Donald Trump's
pudding.
Donald Trump's people have made an ad out of it.
He just like scooped it up.
Like finger or
I feel like I've been in that situation, and you just like
you
like
squeeze it.
back.
Yeah, you just squeeze it out.
DeSantis.
There's no need to scoop
Yeah,
it
you
out
don't
of the
need to
cup.
Use your hand.
This is a wild Google
I'm
day.
a little
DeSantis
upset.
pudding fingers.
I'm a little
Okay, let's
upset
see
that
what
he
comes
did
up.
You don't have the ick, do you?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And it's Ron DeSantis. I'm a huge fan of him in every way. Annie knows what I'm talking about. And
This did it.
that kind of gives me the ick. Not gonna lie.
Here, look at this. I'm just gonna. This says.
Good video.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That's
no.
not him, obviously.
No, Ron DeSantis did not use 4 fingers to eat pudding out of his little.
Imagine being the person having to do that in this commercial.
This is a Trump ad.
That is so Trump-like.
Do you know who the person is you could hire to do that ad? Is Ryan
I
Wiggins.
was just gonna say.
Ew.
Speak of the ill. Oh man, paid for by Make America Great Again Inc., which is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. MAGAPAC.com.
Oh my gosh. I will say the one food that I always eat with my hands that nobody else does is sushi. I'm not.
I feel like that is reasonable.
And I didn't realize that wasn't a normal thing until, because I used to just get sushi from Deerbergs, never went to like wasabi or anything like that. And then the first time I went, I was like, oh, no one here is eating with their hands. I should probably stop.
I feel like that's a little compact thing. Pudding, on the other hand, is liquid and gross.
Is pudding liquid?
Yes.
No.
I don't know.
Is it a solid?
Yeah.
Can you stand on pudding? Or would you sink into pudding?
I don't think that you can sink into quicksand. It's not liquid.
Well, it is. It's liquefaction. That's what causes quicksand to be
The
quick.
sand isn't liquid.
Yeah, but it's the liquid that you're sinking into. It's the space in between.
So you're saying the space is liquid, but the sand isn't.
Right. It's because
those
sand
don't
is mixed
exist
with
in my
water.
mind. Those are like only in movies.
I also think that if you were in a pool full of pudding, that you wouldn't sink to the bottom,
No, you'd be suspended somewhere in the middle.
which makes it a solid.
No.
Liquid.
According to
I
the
don't
science, which is what I'm going to say now every time I'm lying or making things up that I think should be true. Is pudding a liquid or a solid, Anna?
I think I'm leaning towards liquid.
Hannah? Anna.
Liquid.
Liquid?
I'm going to say it's a liquid.
I'm going 1 out of 4 radio people disagree.
We all also eat with our hands instead of a comb.
Yeah, I'm eating my solid pudding with a comb. Ugh. John says it takes the shape of its container. What is the actual, I don't think it's a solid or liquid, but what is is there a term for the in-betweeners?
Sickwid.
A sickwid. I like it.
Yeah. At what point does a liquid become a solid and a solid become a liquid? Because it's all about how quick the molecules are moving around.
Oh, jeez.
wow,
I haven't heard
I
the word
completely
molecules
disagree
since
with that.
college.
But that, right? There's solid, liquid, and gas.
Speaking of science.
3 phases.
Stop it. Speaking of science, my daughter hurt her hand right here on this space that's between the thumb and the finger. What do you call that?
Ooh.
That little spot right here that you can kind of pinch.
I have no idea.
I named it.
What is it?
I told her, oh, that's your in-betweeny.
In-betweeny. Yep.
That's cute.
My dad came home and she's like, I hurt my in-betweeny. My dad's like, her dad is like, what?
What is that?
So if you ever hear someone call that the in-betweeny, that means that is grown. I've spread that. And my daughter has probably told everybody because it was Evelyn.
Makes sense.
Of course.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
use it.
Have you ever, if you've ever cut yourself there or something like that, it's very, it's like.
I pinched my in-betweeny at Disney. I did with
Cut
the
that.
clip. Okay.
I pinched my in-betweeny at Disney. Did you see any of our videos that we put up yet?
Oh yes, I saw them before Hannah did yesterday. Because I was like, Hannah, have you seen all these videos on YouTube?
I just heard myself screaming
And
at
she was
Anna's
like,
desk.
no.
I was like, what is that?
So far, Anna, since you're the one who makes all the YouTube shorts and the one about the pooping, Parkman has just made me laugh a lot. You can see that at the Annie Frey YouTube channel right now. So far, what you've consumed from our Disney trip on YouTube, any favorites, anything you recommend people go check out?
I mean, the video of Annie and Hannah on the ride is pretty funny.
She had no idea what was
Hannah
going on.
just looks way too happy to be there.
I was just beaming, and I was super surprised with Expedition
and the
Everest.
one of Ryan and Brad on the Dumbo ride, just like zero reaction, straight face the whole time, and it's just like kind of going up and down.
Yeah,
that one made me laugh.
So
out loud.
funny.
From the other side of that, I remember that situation. I remember you seeing you do that, but I could not hear a word you were saying.
I don't think we said anything.
And then I was
I
listening to the
said
video.
to put your arms
Yeah,
up.
somebody
Oh,
said
yeah.
put your arms up. I didn't hear that.
Oh,
One of
my
you
gosh.
goes like,
Yeah,
raises one arm.
one single arm.
yeah, you guys look like you were forced onto that ride.
Oh, for sure.
It's funny though.
We have much more Disney content to come, though.
Headed up your way. Yeah, you're going to find a lot more of that on our social media than you are going to hear on the air. And we're going to do a special live broadcast in the evening at a TBD date. So stay tuned for that. All right. You guys are team salad fingers?
Salad fingers
Salad
is
fingers.
liquid pudding.
Liquid
Yep.
pudding. Oh, I couldn't disagree more. This is terrible. Terrible. All right. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to remind you to vote on that YouTube live chat poll. Will Joe Biden be the Democrat nominee? Hannah's going to be back to give us the results of that poll at the end of the show. What do you think? Will he be the Democrat nominee? Leave your comments. Hannah's setting those aside to feature them, and we will read as many of them as we can before we wrap up the show. Back with more in just a minute. Don't go away.
All my nights reading texts from you. Oh, I'm good at keeping my distance. I know that you're the feeling.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Everything means nothing if I can't have you.
So the Retirement Advisory Group, we just got done talking with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw. They have their event coming up, and I would love to see you there. Tuesday, that's next Tuesday, May 16th, at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Be there or be square. I'll be there at 6 o'clock and hope to meet as many of you as I can. And I was told that Mark Cox is spreading some rumors about what it takes to sign up for this. It's free for everybody. Annie Frey Show listeners get in free too. Don't listen to him. We have a little friendly competition when it comes to filling this room, and I want as many Annie Frey Show listeners there who are probably, let's be real, also Mark Cox listeners as well. You got to reserve your spot. Go to 314-993-9494. Call 314-993-9494 and sign up for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event Tuesday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. You can also reserve your spot by going online. Visit them at retirementkey.com.
Sharpshooters Indoor Range can facilitate all types of experience levels. CCW courses instructed every month. Check sharpshooterstl.com for availability. Private training is available daily. Sharpshooters Indoor Range can host large group and corporate events with catering from Sharpshooters Pit and Grill. Thursday is always Ladies' Day from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Rent your firearm with the Try Before You Buy wall. Sharpshooters Indoor Range on Gravois in St. Louis. Visit sharpshooterstl.com for full details.
Cardinals baseball is in full swing.
Right center field, a grand slam for Nolan Gorman.
With the free Odyssey app, you can stream the team all summer long in your backyard, at the beach, or wherever you're listening.
And it's a gunner! An opposite field home run for Wilson Contreras.
Cardinals baseball. Cardinals announcers. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.
McKelvey Homes was founded in 1898. This year, we are celebrating our 125th anniversary by giving $12,500 of free options on all homes sold through the end of June. And we will also make a donation of $1,898 to the Independence Center for every home sold. Visit McKelveyHomes.com for our current locations and to learn more information about McKelvey Homes. That's McKelveyHomes.com. If you want to lose weight, I've got a great idea for you. Mark Cox here for my friends at Victory Men's Health. They're now offering FDA-approved semaglutide. They have tremendous results with this medication. The average patient loses 15% of their body weight. Men and women can get semaglutide from Victory Men's Health at any of their 3 locations. Be sure and book your appointment today online at victorymenshealth.com.
Play ball!
Step up to the plate by donating your old car to Goodwill and get 4 box seats to a Cardinal game. Your car donation to Goodwill will help people right here in St. Louis. Donating is easy, towing is free, and you get a tax receipt. Plus, you'll get Cardinal tickets, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. Donate online at mersgoodwill.com. Must mention promo code Cardinals. Hurry while supplies last.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The time is 2:26. This time check brought to you by Jerry Kelly.
Odyssey is your home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today to listen to 97.1 FM Talk, even when you don't have a radio. Always streaming at 971talk.com.
Birds flying high.
Oh, really?
You know how I
Tommy
feel.
Edmond has that as his walk-up song.
Sun in the sky. You know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
And I'm feeling good.
Brad just said, and I quote, "Man, we have some nerds in our YouTube live chat. You guys are smart people."
Yeah.
Making us feel stupid. I still am going to call the space between your finger and your thumb the in-betweeny.
I'm down with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's, well, like your elbow is your elbow, and I'm sure it's got a fancy medical name for your joint, but we also call it the funny bone.
Well, the funny bone is different than the elbow. The funny bone is like here. If you hit your funny bone, it's this part. This would be your elbow. This is a great radio. And if you look here, this is silly. What was the quote I wanted to read? Oh yeah, Joe, if you didn't listen to our last segment, it can be summed up by Joe's comment said, anyone ever get pudding on their in-betweeny? I'm sure you have. I bet anybody who's ever eaten pudding has gotten pudding on their in-betweeny. If you know, you know. If you don't Google it. YouTube live chat poll. Is Joe Biden going to be the Democrat nominee, yes or no? Brad, what do you think?
I'm still a no. I know he's declared.
How does that manifest itself, though?
I think it manifests itself in the way that Bret was suggesting.
That he passes away?
That he either passes away or has a medical incident that just renders him incapable of performing the duties of president. I mean, let's be honest. He's not that far away from being incapable of performing the duties. Some might say he's actually there. But man, I hate to say it like this, but you reach a certain age and you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and it's a blessing. And Joe Biden is inching ever closer to that age.
Do you think there's a scenario where he loses the nomination in a primary?
That scenario has to be one where he does something that would absolutely ruin his chances at winning 2024, at least in the eyes of his party, and the party runs somebody that primaries him. But I don't think that there's anybody.
Is RFK Jr. that person?
I don't think RFK is that person. RFK is an insurgent within the Democratic Party.
Is he liked by Democrats?
I think there's a certain sect of Democrats that like him, but I wouldn't say he's got mainstream support. Kind
of need that to win a primary.
Yeah.
I don't know that the primary challenger that's going to beat Joe Biden is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Here, I want to play some of the sound. It's a just short of 3-minute response from Congressman Comer today on the questions surrounding. He gave a long presentation. Just 10 minutes. But he gave a press conference presentation of the goods that they have on the payments made in the $10+ million range to the Biden family in conjunction on a timeline with visits by vice president. These are payments that were made while Joe Biden was vice president. My recollection is you can't indict a president of the United States, but if the crime was occurring when he was not president, I think that that's different. But we're going to talk to Hans von Spakovsky tomorrow at 12:25 and get the details on what is coming. Just like we asked, I think it was Hans, and we've spoken with Andy McCarthy about this as well. But if Donald Trump is sitting in a jail cell and is the Republican nominee for president, he can become the president. So there are very few things that there's nothing that he's been charged with right now that would preclude him from taking that position. We are in uncharted waters, folks. Here is a question that was asked by the New York Post of Congressman Comer after he spoke and laid out all the details. And then we heard from Byron Donalds, we heard from Jim Jordan, among others. Listen to this.
I don't think anyone in America who's watching C-SPAN or any other network that's covering this would think that it's just a coincidence that 9 Biden family members have received money for this influence peddling scheme. I mean, what as Representative Jordan and the other speakers said, what business is there? You know, the media has always said two things. First of all, the media have said, many in the media have said that no transactions happened while Joe Biden was vice president. We've proven that wrong. Joe Biden said during 2020 that his family never took any money from China. Today, we've proven that wrong, and you have it in your memorandum. The bank transfers. So we believe that the president has been involved in this from the very beginning, obviously. We're going to continue to look. There are, what we've cited today and what we're updating you with today, 4 banks. Those result from 4 banks. We believe there are 12 banks. So right now, you could say that we're in the beginning stages of this investigation, but many of you wrote, I read your stories, many of you wrote, not the New York Post, but many of you wrote that we would never get access to bank records because that's what the White House told you. And they said we would never have access to the Treasury because that's what the White House and Jamie Raskin told you. But we have the bank records. We're going to get more bank records. We just got the bank records from going through the associates. We knew there were people that were wiring money, that were accepting the initial payments from our adversaries around the world, and then they were funneling the money to the Bidens through various LLCs. So we got the bank records through the back door. And we can tell you from the people that we're meeting with that were involved with many of the schemes that we're pretty confident that the president was very knowledgeable of what his family was doing. You've seen pictures with these people. You've seen meetings. You've seen instances where the president took his son on trips during the last year of his vice presidency. And every account prior to today said, but none of those transactions happened while he was vice president. We just laid out that 16 of the 17 payments to the Bidens from Romania occurred while Joe Biden was vice president. With the second question with respect to the FBI, this is Senator Grassley's whistleblower. I've reviewed the transcript. We have given the FBI until noon today to provide that document, that very specific document. And we're going to let the ball be in the FBI's court. And then Senator Grassley and I, if the FBI for some reason does not comply with our subpoena, then Senator Grassley and I will discuss the next step.
So,
next question.
Congressman Comer really kind of summing it up for people who may not have heard the news earlier today, but there are a whole host of questions with a whole lot of money, and it requires answers. So that was the big question. That was the big story out of House Republicans today. But there's also another big story that has come out of the House Republicans today. Listen to this from CNN.
Yeah, we're just hearing, John, that George Santos is in custody and this indictment has been unsealed. I want to give you some quick details as we're going through the paperwork. He is charged on a 13-count indictment. According to those court documents, the charges include 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making materially false statements to the House of Representatives.
So George Santos is in custody. He wasn't at that press conference. He's going to have his own press conference. That was the CNN report. From the Fox News, just to reiterate, report, a 13-count indictment was made public Wednesday in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York, charging the congressman with 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making materially false statements to the House of Representatives. I don't know if we saw this coming or shouldn't have. I'm going to be honest. George Santos, to me, is a circus sideshow, and I don't understand for the life of me how the local... I wondered if they took Republican politicians so not seriously in this area that George Santos somehow slipped through. How did that Republican win in the non-red wave?
That's a great question. That is a great question.
What do you like? What's your thoughts when you hear that he's in custody? Like, what was your immediate reaction?
How about that? I've just been watching, I don't know, bucket of popcorn watching the whole George Santos thing because I think he really, really, really gets under the skin of liberals more than any other Republican politician, save for probably Donald Trump. But like to watch people get so mad and so upset and like this man needs to step down and all this other stuff while members of their own party are doing the exact same things that this guy's doing. It's like, well, he lied about this. So what are we going to do about, I don't know, Elizabeth Warren lying on her resume about her Native American heritage or lack thereof?
I feel like George Santos told all those people to hold his beer.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like a caricature of a politician.
It's almost It's like when you see, the big fake boobs dude from Canada.
Yes.
And you're looking at him, and he's wearing his mask in the first picture, but his mask is under his nose, and he's wearing like size ZZZ prosthetic breasts. You're like, you can't be serious.
No.
This can't be real. I cannot take you seriously. And I feel the same way about George Santos. And if the Republican Party, if this becomes a mess for the Republican Party any more than it already has right now, I mean, you've got such a slim majority in the House that the fact that they didn't do their due diligence on this dude beforehand, they're kind of having to live with it. But Santos has already announced that he's running for re-election. I mean, I don't know how being in prison affects that. But he said he's running.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah, no joke.
Just do better. I don't I don't get it. The U.S. attorney said in a statement, this indictment seeks to hold Santos accountable for various alleged fraudulent schemes and brazen misrepresentations. Taken together, the allegations in the indictment charge Santos with relying on repeated dishonesty and deception to ascend to the halls of Congress and enrich himself. He used political contributions to line his pockets, unlawfully applied for unemployment benefits that should have gone to New Yorkers who had lost their jobs due to the pandemic, and lied to the House of Representatives. My office and our law enforcement partners will continue to aggressively root out corruption and self-dealing from our community's public institutions and hold public officials accountable to the constituents who elected them. There's no part of my Republican freak flag that wants to wave right now. It's just not happening. You agree?
Yeah, I get it. But still, at the same time, you just watch this. I wonder, too. So they're going to prosecute him for these sorts of things. Does this set precedent for other politicians? Do we hold other politicians these standards? Because now they're like talking fraud. And
Hunter reminds us, don't forget that Mr. Joseph P. Exotic is running for POTUS from behind bars. That means Mr. Santos can do it, too. What a time to be alive. Oh, it's just... I wish we took this more seriously.
It's the logical end of where we are in our political discourse.
Yeah, we deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
We all deserve this, I guess. I wish we could stop looking into the drama that surrounds our political campaigns. I said when we talked with Bret Mega at 1:05 today on the show, it was great having him in here from 198. I said something to the effect of, I don't think that these people, when they're running for office and once they're in office, they don't want you to think about anything. They want to remove all thinking from you. They just want you to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel as though the pendulum is 100% on the side of feel right now. And it needs to come back to where we start using our brains again.
Mm-hmm.
And if a candidate makes you feel something really super sensational, you can go to places. I'll just say it this way. I'm choosing my words. You can go to a concert. It can be a high experience for you. You could be seeing a band that you've loved your entire life, and it's just everything, the sounds, the sensations, the people around you all together. It's a high. You can go to a playoff baseball game, and they do everything. They amp everything up because they want you to feel. They want you to be they need you to feel emotionally connected to it. When you strip away all of that stuff and you just start looking at the statistics on the paper of how your favorite player is now batting 142, that just made that number up. So if somebody on the Cardinals, very possible, is batting 142.
Hey, they're on a winning streak.
Yeah, I know. Three games? Sweep the Cubbies?
Not yet. One more.
Predictive. If you that's right. If you take away all the sensation around it and you just start looking at it practically, it's not as fun. There's not as much that drags you into it and sucks you into it. But if you're somebody who has to make decisions, if you're somebody who has to choose who plays where, or, if you're trying to figure out, if you're managing a band and you're trying to figure out how to get from, city A to city B to city C, and you want to really lay into it here, but you still got to make business decisions and you got to draw back. That's where you have to be conservative and make smart, factually based decisions. And that's never fun. It's always restrictive. self-restrictive, not imposed restrictive.
Right.
Which is the other side of the aisle, is from where I sit, this is my perspective, that generally speaking, you have conservatives and you have liberals who look at problems and they both point and go, that's a problem, it needs to be fixed. And the people on the left say, we need a program for this. We need a government solution for this. We've got people in government. We need them to do something. Let's create a system to help solve this problem. And I think that there are a good portion of Democrats who believe that, who think that a government program or solution will effectively solve that problem. What I think is that most of the time, these government solutions and these government programs that are all taxpayer funded will address a problem, but never solve it nearly as well as the people could solve the problem themselves. And so if you look at an issue and you both agree from the left and the right that this is a problem, but you depart immediately on the solution, and the fundamental line that we draw between each other is who should solve the problem? Should the people solve the problem or should government solve the problem? That's where you delineate which side of the aisle you're going to vote on. And none of that has to do with George Santos. None of that has to do with the circus sideshows that often come with these politicians. They find themselves in front of cameras and microphones. And I understand that there's nothing wrong with having a predominant name or to be a go-to on a particular issue. But the American people are getting left behind because the circus tent is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the clown show is getting less and less funny to watch. The repercussions are starting to touch inside each home every day in a painful way. And something has to change. Quick break. When we come back, results with Hannah on the YouTube live chat poll. Will Joe Biden be the Democrat nominee? Yes or no? You got to let us know what you think. Get your vote in, and Hannah will feature some of your comments right here on the Annie Frey Show when we come back. Don't go away.
There's a new world and a bold world for me.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stewart's American Mortgage is where you can access the bagel loan. It's the only place you can get the bagel loan. Working with Stewie is simple because you work directly with him. He keeps his business small so that he works with the people who sign up for the bagel loan, but he is able to help so many people because he's the best guy in town. When you reach out to Stewart's American Mortgage at 314-324-4440, ask him about the bagel loan. Why does he call it a bagel loan? Well, it looks like a zero. A bagel looks like a zero, and that reminds you that you're going to pay zero in those closing costs when you go to purchase your new home when you partner with Stewart's American Mortgage. He also can help you close in 12 or 13 days. And pre-approval letters that you need when you find the house that you want to make an offer on. You're pre-approved up to X amount, but you want to make an offer for maybe something a little bit less than what you're pre-approved for. You can go onto his website and generate those own pre-approval letters so you don't have to wait for a middleman to get the process done for you. The entire process at Stewart's American Mortgage is set to make your mortgage experience the most positive and the most successful it can possibly be. And don't forget the thousands of dollars you can save without having to invest in those closing costs. Call or text 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
The wait is over. Golden Oak Lending announces that we have dropped our mortgage rates to the lowest they've been all year.
If you've thought about purchasing a home or getting cash out to wipe out debt, you can now benefit from Golden Oak's low 5.25% rate.
Credit card rates are at an all-time high. Don't pay over 25% in interest.
Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 5.25% fixed, 5.928% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit. Wake up, people. You're optimizing every waking hour of your life, from carpooling kids to work to friends and everything in between. You have to get sleep and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep so you learn to sleep better night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number. Save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for their next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online to retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Or do you worry about surviving the next market crash? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free and protect your nest egg from many more losses and provide more income than most investment options? Would you like to know how linking to the market instead of owning the market is so much safer for your retirement savings? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, May 16th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
They say love is more precious than gold. It can't be bought, and it can't be sold.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We are grateful that you are spending some of your afternoon with us. We know it's a choice, and we are always very grateful and truly appreciative when you choose to spend a few of your minutes with us here on 97.1 FM Talk. The YouTube live chat poll. Hannah, how's it going today?
Today's YouTube live chat poll is asking, will Joe Biden be the Democratic nominee? Yes or no?
What did you think?
I think he will be.
You do?
I do.
I do too. I think before, up until he declared, I was like, no, he's not going to be it. Now that he's declared, I'm like, I guess he will.
I think he's going to be it. I mean,
it seems to me like he needs to be around
party,
for some...
so they can do what they want.
Sure.
But yeah, I think he's going to be the guy.
I think he wants to hold on so he can do those pardons, but that's just my thought.
Yikes. Our listeners have weighed in on our YouTube poll. Art says that Biden will be the nominee. I don't see the DNC putting anyone else up. Jackie S. says there has been a slow and increasing drip of negative news against Biden and his family. He will not be the nominee. Jim Tracy from our Facebook feed said nominee in 2024 will not be Biden boy. He doesn't think Biden boy. I've never heard that. Carlos says, I voted yes because I honestly thought he would have been out way before now. So I guess he thinks if he's in it this far that he's going to be the nominee.
You and me, Carlo.
Clayton says, I'm hoping that Joe is the candidate because Kennedy could pull moderates and I'm afraid that the Democrats could put up someone even worse. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terry Bell says Joe Biden will be the nominee because they will have Kamala set to be the first woman president.
We haven't talked about this at all today, but you said Kamala, which I think, is it Kamala?
Kamala.
But the reason why I think that's funny is because Tucker Carlson, this is what you just spurred in my mind, announced on Twitter yesterday that he is going to, in some way, shape, or form, come back to Twitter. And I'm not going to play this clip because they're kind of long. We can talk about it later. But Tucker Carlson is potentially going to be back. But one of the things that made Tucker Carlson so awesome is that he is unafraid in the way he spoke. It's probably one of the reasons why he's toast from Fox News. But he would say Kamala, he would say Kamala, he would say Kamala, he would say them all. And then he got trashed. Was it from the White House? Was it from the podium? I don't remember who it was, but the Biden administration and other people, maybe it was people in The View, were really trashing him hard for not being able to say her name right. And he did this whole like fake apology thing, like went super over the top like he does. And then he played a montage of Kamala Harris saying her name differently.
Oh, he always has the receipts.
Because I always said Kamala first as well. But I mean,
now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what I say.
It's
Kamala.
I think it's Kamala.
You're supposed to say Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris, yeah. And I'm not the person who is going to come on the show and intentionally say people's wrong names, wrong, disrespect her. I feel like there's a whole lot of things I can talk about the vice president that really articulate my thoughts and opinions on the job she's doing without having to make fun of her name.
Right.
But pour one out for Tucker Carlson right now. You just reminded me of that, which is good news because he's coming back to Twitter. And do you have did you pull the sound from, was it CNN or something that was like, who's going to check him now?
No, I don't have that one.
There's a report from MSNBC or somebody, I think you sent it to me.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Is he just going to be able to say whatever he wants to say now? Who's going to keep him in check? And it's like, yeah.
It was NBC. It was Brian Stelter of all people.
Oh, that's right. Wham. Oh, wait. Why are you on TV, Brian Stelter? Go back to Harvard. Anyhow, more comments.
All right, more comments pertaining to the poll question that asks, will Joe Biden be the Democratic nominee? Yes or no? Larry from YouTube says, I voted no. He will be cuffed and charged with treason.
Ooh, that's saucy.
Bold.
Wow.
That is bold. Rick from YouTube says they will make sure that Joe Biden is the nominee for president. He's making rich. He's doing everything that they want him to do. Christopher from our YouTube page said GOP will be doing DNC a favor, taking Biden off the table for 2024. I will get to the poll results. Let's see here. We have 190 votes. Will Joe Biden be the 2024 Democratic nominee? Yes or no? Pretty tight poll, but 59% of the people said no, he will not be. 41% of the people said that Joe Biden will be the nominee for 2024.
That is very close.
Mm-hmm. It's changed up a little bit throughout the day, but we ended with 59% of the people saying he won't be the Democratic nominee.
Man. Well, is it better for the Republicans if he is?
I would think so. Along those lines, by going after Trump so hard, aren't you making it better for Republicans if Trump doesn't do it? Like, if you really think Trump is the worst.
How dramatically different is a non-Biden, non-Trump presidential race? Just regardless of where anybody is on the aisle. Just, are we talking about issues then?
Yeah, I think so. Well, at least more so than we are now.
So say, well, that'll happen, and we'll go into it like we were cute for thinking that.
Yeah. But I feel like it's going to be kind of that whole pulling the chair out from underneath you feeling, because everybody's expecting and gearing up for it to be Biden, Trump, and then all of a sudden, whoop, Newsom, DeSantis or something. And that would just, it'd be a last minute kind of thing.
Man. I'm 100% okay with it being Ron DeSantis, Gavin Newsom, because I think if you want to say California or Florida, follow the U-Hauls, folks.
Easy.
Follow the U-Hauls. Well, we appreciate you being with us here today. I'm very excited about tomorrow's show. Hans von Spakovsky is going to join us at 12:25 p.m. and we're going to talk about the Joe Biden family business. You won't want to miss it. And Darren LaHood, Congressman Darren LaHood is going to be on with us as well. We're going to get his reaction to that and to the immigration bill that is in front of Congress. We appreciate you being with us. A reminder, if you miss anything on the show that you want to check back, you can rewind on the Odyssey app or check your podcasts wherever you get your podcasts from. Mark Reardon Show, up next.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler.